Dance. Dance. Dance.
This is for all you lovers out there.
Dance.
History is gonna change. Legs in the back. Daddy-o, daddy-o. Time machine.
Come on now, party you. Come on now, party you. Come on now, party you.
Dance, dance. Dance, dance. Dance, dance. Dance. Dance, dance.
You make like the tree.
Come on now, party you. 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 Just never would have met your father. Never would have.
Planets down to Earth, down to Earth, down to Earth. What if they read my stories? What if they won't let you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk? Planets down to Earth, down to Earth, down to Earth. What if they read my stories? What if they won't let you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk?
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Still getting set up, kind of. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. It's not my video. If anybody wants to see any of the music videos that I usually play prior to starting my live, they're all done by Pogo Music, and it's the same with some of the audio ones that I play. It's usually copyright free, not all of them, but the majority of them are copyright free. That's why I play them, and they're, I don't know, cool beats. It's almost like a lo-fi version of something you've seen before. What in the flying monkey ass is this? Well, this is me in a mosque with a microphone in a field full of mushrooms in what looks to be a majestic forest, if I had to guess. I could be wrong. It looks majestic. They don't look too tasty, to be fair. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why did we come here today? I'm not good at this game anymore. I haven't done this in a while. Forgot how it works. Turn this off. Wow, don't spam the chat with it. You crazy? That's annoying. Well, I will refresh my chat if you're going to be a dickhole. I don't know why all the kick streamers have to be so lame. Flood my chat with nonsense. Nobody wants you to follow these people. Yeah, no, I'm just going to turn my chat off if that's okay. Yeah. No, only the people that can see it are on kick. There you go. That's what you get. Ruin the fun for everybody else. You weird kick streamer, you. But I appreciate the comments, I guess. Oh, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Turning my camera on. Let's see. Should we do an open panel this evening? We can do that. We can make this happen. Yeah. But I don't know if I can pin it with this. Control. Hold on. How else will I start a cult unless I have an open panel? It's a good question. I wasn't really worried about starting a cult. I just thought it was intriguing. I've always wanted my own cult. I feel like I'd be a nice charismatic leader of a cult. Can't you see it, Cursed? I feel like I could run a pretty good cult. But we'd probably default to Scientology or something similar. Why is it not showing up on my other live? Or am I losing my marbles? Can you guys not see my face right now? Can you guys see me? Is this happening? What is happening? Why is my camera on? Is my camera on? Am I losing my marbles? For some reason on my other live, I can only see my icon. I'm losing my mind, okay? I'm losing it. Just know that. Co-ownership. Wait, I tried that already. Co-ownership of what? Of my cult? No. I'm the charismatic leader. There can be people behind the scenes that are doing things because I'm not going to do things. I'm just going to say things. And this is how my cult will work. If anyone wants to join me. No, it's my cult. But I mean, you're more than welcome to help out, I guess. I feel like that could be a thing. Can nobody see my face right now? Why is it like that on all my cameras? I can see my camera's on. But I'm losing my marbles. My camera's on right now. Nobody can see my face. Nothing. It's just my background. What in the hell? If anybody wants to join me, what am I doing? Get some help. Stop it. Get some help. I swear to God, my camera's on right now. This is so weird. Hold on a second. I'm going to refresh stream mode. This is really bugging me. Yeah, it's not. I don't know what was going on. Now I don't know if it's working. Now it's working? Okay. I was pretty sure my camera was on. It was. I was looking at my face. And yeah, that was weird. I'm not sure why I did that. I apologize. But yeah, it was like stuck in my virtual background, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it. All right. If anyone wants to join me, I was busy. Okay, Cursed, you just chill the fuck out. Now I should be posting things and stuff. Tell me why is it so silly? Oh, now it won't let me open it back up. Yeah, I don't like this game. It's so dumb. I can only pin it on one chat. Ugh. That kind of stuff angers me. Yeah, it's gonna bug me. Sorry, I'm having a moment right now. Deal with it. I can't watch any of my live. This is so annoying. Oh, cursed. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, that's not me screaming.
What in the flying rubber monkey was that noise?
That'd be my family
Oh, so
making noises.
Forget I asked.
Would you ask?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Exactly.
why's your hair look that way, bro?
What's wrong with my
That's
hair?
what I asked.
What's wrong with my
that's
hair?
what's wrong with your hair.
I promise, there's nothing wrong with my hair. I didn't do anything.
You know, I'm trying. You're like the only person that Queen might plausibly interact with, but she's still looking at me like, why do you want me to come out of my cage? I'm like, please, just to show that you're real.
I've met Queen before. We've talked.
I know.
She knows.
You're like
knows
one
I'm
of
real.
the very few internet people that she actually finds worthy enough to interact with whenever she fucking feels like it.
In case anybody forgets, I'm wearing a shirt with my name on it today. This is my name.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I didn't know if you cared about. Yeah, you're like me. You don't give a fuck about doxing yourself. As long as nobody sees the back of your truck's license plate, you don't care.
Yeah, no, my name's right there. It's not it's not hard to figure out. It's on my channel. It's yeah. I don't really dox myself.
You smell like eggs.
I don't smell like eggs.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It's making the whole room icky.
The whole room is not icky and it doesn't smell like eggs. Doesn't smell like eggs here.
Spray Febreze with more ease than what it shows on the label, and everything will be fine.
La 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 la.
Yeah, la is typing in the chat right now.
Yeah, I know. I just turned off the live chat because of that. Because I'm just getting spam shit from Kick more and more now. It's annoying. So now it only goes to my Kick chat. So that's the only people that are watching.
I told you, even though those waters are deep, they're fucking rugged. You see all these fucking rocks, bro. These aren't icebergs. Be careful.
Icebergs.
Yeah, this isn't the Olympian.
So have you been seeing this? Apparently all over the internet now, I've been seeing like shorts of how they shot the Titanic.
Stop talking about it with the wrong word. It's the Olympian.
No. The Titanic.
It's the Olympian. We're going to fight about this. We're going to fight about
No,
this.
how they shot the
Olympian.
movie. How they shot the
Still the
movie.
Olympian.
Okay. I'm talking about the movie, the Titanic.
And the boat was called the Olympian that sunk. But nobody wants to.
No, it was a soundstage that they flooded. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual production of the movie.
Fine. We're talking about the story of the Olympian that everybody thinks is the Titanic that was made into a movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio was a time traveler. What else you need to know?
Is he a time traveler?
Yes, he was. I swear up and down, bro. There's no way. Dude, it too many coincidences. Okay, I'll wait.
What?
Ready?
Ready for what?
My daughter's saying like a grenade.
You're not going to throw grenades at me.
Yeah.
No. She, I don't know.
Hi, Mrs. Waters.
No, she's popped in to tell me she was going to throw a grenade at me. She's gone now.
But at least you know I'm nice to your lady.
Yeah. After you guys hashed it out.
Hey, as long as
Started
I'm
with a
allowed
rocky
to call
start.
her Mr. Waters, we're fine. As long as I'm
You're
allowed
allowed.
to, I'm the only person that does all this shit. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can correct me as much as you want. I'm not changing.
I never asked you to change. Don't ever change. You stay golden, pony boy.
The only time I change is to become better, man. That's how you grow, bro.
No. I try to stay docile
No,
and
no,
never expand
stop
anything.
Stop
My
it.
feet are buried in the sand. And speaking of, How about that cult?
How about it, bro? Like, check it out. Check it out. Oh, you ain't got squares on here.
Well, you ain't got squares on there.
No, you don't have squares. It's your StreamYard.
No, I can do it on mine, but I have to do it as a virtual background. I can't do it as a.
You can change this circle to a square.
No, I can't. I don't know how.
Yes, you can.
I don't know how though. Is what I said.
Go over there and finger it out, bro. It's on the
I'm
right
fingering
side.
it. Visual effects? Nope.
I don't know. It's over there. I have to get into my StreamYard to tell you what it is, and I'm not doing that right now.
All right. Hold on. Hold the goddamn phone. I'm gonna be attacked at some point from behind. I already know it's coming. At some point, objects are gonna be hurled at me. Yeah, no, it's not in my thing. No, that's not happening. No way.
It has to do with like the colors and all that. It's around that setting somewhere.
But yeah, basically, when I want to fill my whole thing with it, I use a virtual background, and I upload all my images to virtual backgrounds, and then I can slide through them like that.
Yeah. You've seen mine, and now there's less up here for some reason.
Why? What happened?
I don't know.
What'd you do?
I don't have. Yeah. I upgraded without reobtaining because I lost. So yeah, all that at the same time. Oh my gosh, splurge.
Dude, I know. Isn't that crazy? And it's the same person. I'm not even gonna say their channel name just because they're doing it so much. I would have said their channel name if they just did it one time.
Like we could have gave you props, bro, but you're splurging everywhere.
Could have shouted somebody out.
Feet, bro.
Chill for a second, my dude. I need to do a dab about it. Oh man. So what you up to, man? How's life treating you?
Man, you know me, I don't do a damn thing.
I've been hiding. Well, not hiding. I've been off the internet for a little while.
Yeah, duh. You should be after sitting outside of ice for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, that's not why. We got speaking of ice, we got over a foot of snow, and that's what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, week. Just been on and off snowing, and then it was just brutal cold, and I just had no will or want to fucking do anything.
Yeah,
Mudrabbit?
My favorite Christian has appeared.
Your favorite Christian?
Yeah, my favorite Christian.
I'm more fond of Enoch or Jesus, but to each their own. What?
Huh?
Yes. You may throw it at you like a grenade?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have to get it again.
Hey, here it comes.
I'm scared. I hate it so bad. Get ready. I'm going to throw something at you. Wow.
How I get stuff thrown at me for giving you what you wanted? You asked for this.
You asked for this.
So I bought a bottle of rum about it and thought I would do a live stream.
I thought you were sober, Mr. Waters. I guess I was wrong.
No, not forever. I never said that.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's only a problem
break.
if you can't control it. That's the way you look at it. I forgot. There is half of y'all that only smoke shit, and the other half says it is only a problem if you can't control it.
Yeah, well, I mean, my thing is I have an addictive personality, and I know that. I just I don't know. If I didn't have control of something, then I would worry about it more. I would worry about it a lot more. I think I need to add about it. Need to dress like a hippie or something.
What you doing tonight, Mud? Are you going to join us so we can have a show instead of Mr. Waters running all over me?
Running all over you? I would never do such a thing.
But it's fun.
I feel like a hippie, goddammit. I can. Getting a drink. Okay. Fair enough.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's plausible that Queen is in the bushes somewhere because she likes to do that a lot.
Say that again because I wasn't listening.
Yay. It's plausible Queen might be in the bushes because she does that a lot, but it's plausible that she's not also at the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, if she wants to, she's more than welcome to join. If not, that's okay as well. I been following a lot of really weird things lately that I could talk to Mudrabbit about. But I don't know how much she's wanting to get into politics. I love
But come on, man.
politics.
You have to agree that before all this nonsense happened where things started changing like logos, etc., ... everything was all about time travel. Am I wrong?
No.
Can you rewind
No.
that forward?
So I feel like it's a lot of missing time, and then people use time travel as an excuse.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to like before the Mandela event was like officially known everywhere, like everybody wants to make fun of it, ha 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 ha. Like, what were we like stuck on? And I thought it was like time travel or something like that.
You know what it was for me? The one that I kind of like stumbled across. I don't even know how to phrase this one on YouTube to keep it appropriate. So they used to have like trainfuls of orphan kids, right? This was in like, all right, let me look this up. This is fucking wild. And this is back when kids used to work in factories and shit all the time.
All the bison are supposed to be dead type Mandela effect?
No, but maybe kids were made in factories and shipped out to people, and everybody adopted these like creations.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know where you're saying. Like, there was a thing going around that if you had this mark on your body, you were a clone. I remember that. That was like way back there, right there in that era. I remember that.
Yeah. It's gotten really weird, and but I don't know. There used to be like an abundance of kids and orphanages and all of this other stuff, and people used to talk about how they would like put their kids on trains and like they'd send them off to an orphanage, or that's where they got their kid, was from an orphanage. I just don't hear stories about that anymore. I just feel like it stopped right after they stopped allowing kids to work in factories. It was all kind of around the same time in the end of World War II.
The only way that I can explain that. Oh, you said World War II.
What up, Nick?
Oh, because there was nothing left to do.
Well, yeah, like I know they're procreating more,
right? Procreation.
Yeah, I know they're procreating more after World War II, but that's why I feel like it actually started to slow down, was after World War II.
I agree with this. I do agree with this. And honestly, can we agree that it's nearly come to a halt the past 25 years? Like, we're not getting idiocracy. We're getting, can you say like 13 to 20% of the population is,
responsible for 50% of the
yeah, that's the exact word. Thank you for talking over it, and I know you heard it and your audience heard both of us talking at the same time.
No, I know, that's why I was doing it. But yeah, maybe because they wanted to I don't know, 13, would you say 13% of the population is responsible for over
13 to 20% of the population has been brainwashed to be gender dysmorphic? Or in a sense, they will not procreate anymore.
So I'm just gonna come up with names because I don't want to try to pronounce any of these. Yeah, we'll do Yeah Dive. Yeah Dive, hello. And Heng, let's just go with Heng. Heng, how you doing? How's it going? Is that Mudrabbit?
Hey.
Hello.
Yes, that's the real Mudrabbit. Verbal confirmation confirmed.
It's me. I'm sorry. Hold on. Zero, you want me to say hi to Chris? She just messaged me. She's over on Rumble. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I'm just confused. I'm normally confused. It's okay.
You know, Chris,
I know.
want to go?
Yeah, we're sure. Why not? Why
she's
not?
someplace else. I just told her you're over here in case she wants to say hello.
She's over at Sandy Divas a lot.
She's over on Rumble on another StreamYard.
I was gonna say that, and Sandy doesn't stream until super late. I've been
Yeah.
popping into Sandy's a lot lately, and just listening. But yeah.
I wanted to comment on your earlier post because my great grandmother was an orphan on a train.
Okay.
My grandmother's mother on my mom's side.
Did orphan trains stop? Was that like a thing? Do you remember when this was a thing and then when it no longer was a thing?
Well, I do know this happened at the turn of the last century because my great grandmother was born in the late 1800s. My grandmother was born in 1911. So my granny was already about in her mid 20s at that point, I think mid to late 20s. So she was born probably in the 1880s. But she told me she was an orphan because her father, the story I got was that her mother passed away and her father couldn't keep her and her brother. And he put her in what she thought was an orphanage. And the next thing she knew, she was on one of those trains headed east. She ended up in Ohio.
So, yeah, I heard it stopped in the beginning of the 1900s. But I heard it was a popular thing. But maybe it has to do with us using trains less. I don't know. Like,
it was happening in the late 1800s.
And it also happened when we stopped allowing kids to work in factories.
Yeah, she worked in a factory, I think. But she became a nurse in her adulthood, which was another story entirely because nursing back then was something else different from what we have now.
What do you mean?
Well, that's where I learned a lot of my home remedies from, was my grandmother and my great-grandmother, because my great-grandmother lived with us and my grandmother watched us during the day. We had a single mom for most of our childhood and she worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs. So it was the grandparent and the great-grandparent that raised us. So a lot of this stuff that my grandmother learned from her, I learned some things from her. I learned how to cook from her and my grandmother. A lot of the stuff I learned from my grandmother, they went through the Depression. And I think it's valuable information. I think it's a lot of information that people have lost.
I think that has a lot to do with us not having generational households anymore. Where we cared for our grandparents and we didn't send them off to a home.
Exactly.
And it also correlates with like mental health and sending people to like facilities because it was all the time that psychiatrics was all fucked up at the time too.
Yeah, right. Everybody was getting lobotomies.
Yeah, and that was like breaking edge science.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Well, the whole point is that there's a lot of valuable knowledge there that I'm seeing the millennials and the Gen Zers seem to be a little clueless about.
What's up, Jacob?
Yes, hi, Simon.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, I like the grandmother story, okay? But I'm just saying.
I think it explains a lot of why people during COVID actually were more responsive to it in places like Italy because their family dynamic is stronger in Italy where they do actually have generational homes still. So the spread was a little more relevant in generational homes.
That makes sense. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be rude or anything, right? But I'm just saying.
That's about as strong as I make them, Mr. Waters. Dang.
No. My look was more at Simon because I was like, you know what I'm saying, and then he didn't say anything afterwards.
I'm gonna say what
you know,
Simon.
Simon,
I'm saying what you're about to think. Okay, so I'm just like, yo, you're a grown woman, right? So
what the? Don't you even start. Don't you do it.
You know I'm good, right?
No, Simon, don't you do it.
What?
Don't you do it,
I don't know
Simon.
where this is going yet.
No, he's trying to come at Mudrabbit, and that's not funny.
No,
No,
He
no,
always
he'll
does.
get
It's
slapped.
no biggie.
He'll get
it's
slapped
cool.
down
No,
like
I'm
always.
trying to have I'm trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. So it's
I don't
just
care
like,
who you
yo,
spin your gaslight
Say-
at, there, Simon.
What do you think? All right, we'll make it simple for you, Simon. Do you think you could pass down knowledge to a younger generation, or do you think the younger generation is smarter than you and leaving you behind?
that's a real good question, because you had two questions like packeted in the same thing, right? So you said
Neither.
one thing and then you said another thing. So I'm just like, yo, at the end of the day, no one can control you, okay? Like, just get that shit straight. Like,
What does that have to do with any of this topic?
go lie down
What does
and
that
rub
have
your
to do
pussy
with the
before
next
I start with
generation
you,
become more
okay? Stop.
docile than each generation
All
before.
right.
Shut the
Anyway.
fuck up, Simon.
What does
Right.
that have to do with each generation becoming more docile than the generation before them? Prove me wrong.
No, if
Change my
Simon
mind.
would have thought about what I just said to him, I assume he likes to hand down information to his kids and his family, because I assume he's acquired knowledge over his time. He's not a young chap by any means. He's an older gentleman as well. And I don't know why he wouldn't be like, yeah, I teach my kids things. I teach younger people things. That's why our elders are a good thing to actually learn from. That's what Mudrabbit was talking about. When a lot of this is just lost knowledge. I think a lot of people are actually starting to come back to it more. I've been seeing more and more YouTube ads of like pioneer ways of preserving things and stuff like that. And the people are starting to get back to like not washing their eggs and raising their own chickens and doing stuff like that. I think we are getting back to a normal way of doing things.
Stop ignoring my statement.
I missed it. What was it?
Okay, change my mind. Each generation has become more docile than the generation before.
No, I think hard times build hard people. I think as things get easier, then they get more docile. But it's only
We
because
have
we
a
haven't
bunch of spoiled, rotten brats running around who haven't become adults yet.
exactly because they haven't had to try to do anything.
Yeah.
Mud, serious talk here, Mud. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
What was going on in the 60s, and you see how it relates to what was going on in the 80s, and eventually you saw the rise of the radio to the TV to the internet.
Uh-huh.
Do you realize what I'm putting down, since you've seen more than one or three generations?
Absolutely. Yeah. But in the 60s, it was the co-opting of a movement, much like what they're trying to do to MAGA right now. We had the Vietnam War. People were sick of war. We just had Korea and the South China Sea. We had all those wars over in Asia. We had, oh God, it was all over the place. It was terrible. So people rebelled, and that was the counterculture. Now, I was just a little under that when Woodstock came around. That was 1969. I was 13 years old. I wouldn't have been able to go to that. But there was a rebelliousness, and it extended to the vets when they came back. Instead of welcoming them home, they were hated. They were treated poorly. And they're still being treated poorly. And the CIA came in with the drugs, the LSD, the cocaine, all that crap. And
so a lot of this research that I've done, since you actually seen it, so to speak, unfold in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, a lot of this research I've done on declassified and classified information actually happened that goes beyond MKULT.
yeah, it's not a secret. We've been talking about it since back then because they tried it on them in the 60s. That's what LSD.
All of that.
It goes all the way back to the 40s. It goes all the way back to the 40s. And who was it? Peter Salk, I think it was trying to come up with a vaccine.
Even M12 and stuff like that, so that we're not actually getting in trouble for stating the full things.
It all goes back. It all goes back before my lifetime.
Legitimately happened. Is what I'm
trying to say. I think there's a legitimate disconnect with people thinking that it's not still going on and that this like only happened. And
no, it's gotten worse.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
now
it's
they
gotten
have
worse
better
on so
tech.
many levels.
Correct. They've literally all this scientific stuff that we are just learning to accept in the early 2020s and beyond was literally tested back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah,
Mr.
absolutely.
Waters. I'm
And we
not
knew
joking.
that because they had a at Disney in Orlando, they had a display about the House of Tomorrow. And that thing got shut down sometime in I think in the late 70s.
Hmm.
But that was popular, the House of Tomorrow. I mean, I still want a refrigerator from back then. They were better than they are now.
Yeah, they're probably worse for you, but yeah, they cooled better.
Who
I bet.
knows?
So
I don't
it's
know.
not crazy to think that somebody with more ability than me that can just do research and look at files of people who have actually done the research have actually tapped into reality and learned
Okay,
how the mechanisms of it work.
here's where it started to really change drastically, and it sounds like it's not connected, but if you think about it, it really is. When Nixon was in office and we got friendly with the Chinese and slowly started moving businesses over there, and all of a sudden there were less and less American made products. Now in the 80s, there was a big push, like don't buy gas on a certain day, or, boycott this over there. The whole push was buy American, because American businesses were becoming less and less and less. And then all of a sudden, everything was coming from China, and it broke after a year or two. Nothing was as stable. Back then, if you bought a Kirby vacuum cleaner, my mom has, well, I don't know what my dad did with it, but that vacuum cleaner is a year older than I am, and it still works. Wearing blenders. You buy a wearing blender, you have it for life. When you bought an American product, it was a guaranteed lifetime. That
Yeah.
thing lasted.
It was the same with vehicles. I mean,
Yeah,
everything
it's the same
else, we
thing with
just
cars. But
yeah.
what happened was we started outsourcing all this, and the Chinese are sneaky about being cheap on things and cutting corners. So all of a sudden, we've had to adjust slowly to less and less quality.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, because they also see the profit motive in making you buy the new product every year.
Yeah,
Because
They
that's
like
ridiculous.
in our
Yeah,
electronics
it's
now,
called.
Oh, my bad.
I was going to say with the iPhones and stuff, all of a sudden they just stop working after a certain point.
Yeah, it's
Like
called
the charges aren't the
manufactured
same.
obsolescence.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you can
that's the
actually
more recent
go.
word for it.
You can actually go out and buy chargers now that actually restore your battery life to back when you actually first bought the phone. But they have to
Exactly.
take out other programs that are put into the phone to make you have less battery life.
It's like
it's so weird.
wiping
All
it.
your updates. Yeah.
Yep. We learned about that with Windows, when we still had access to our file manager. You could go in and see all the crap that all
Okay,
the
Mudrabbit,
stuff that
time
you
for nostalgia
downloaded.
bait. You ready for this nostalgia bait, Mudrabbit? Radio Shack in the 90s.
Oh man, I love that place.
That is the best place.
Oh man, you could get everything fixed there. If you couldn't get it fixed, you could get a part.
I'm telling you, if a time traveler came back, they'd have to go to a Radio Shack in the 90s to fix their device. No bullshit. No bullshit.
And it didn't cost you much.
Exactly.
And they had everything for your, parts. It was like walking into a parts store, because that's when I worked for Lincoln Mercury in the service department. I always equated Radio Shack to the parts department at the dealership. You just walk in and get the part you need.
So, Mudrabbit. I'm going to look
Hold
at
on a second.
Okay.
All right. So, Radio Shack is still a thing. The only reason I looked this up is because after bankruptcy, they had to move to online sales a little bit more, but there is still franchise stores.
Oh yeah, they're still out there.
There's some in Maryland that are closing, that just closed April 2025. But I was looking at this because I just recently saw something about the last Blockbuster, and there still is a Blockbuster open too.
Where is that?
It's in Oregon or Washington, one or the other.
There is only one Blockbuster remaining.
Yeah.
Well, in Dania, we have one Dunkin' Donuts right there by the house. And what was the first one you mentioned?
Radio Shack. It's in
Yeah,
it's in
there was
Bend, Oregon for
yeah,
Blockbuster.
until I think it was 2007, 2008, there was a Radio Shack in Hollywood, Florida, because we used to go there.
Yeah, I used to have one in town, and that's just where you would go for electronics. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. So when we originally got on this conversation, we were talking about you were talking about how the Democratic Party, or not the Democratic Party, the Republican Party has changed, or were you talking about MAGA in general?
Just MAGA. The Republicans some of them are rhinos, and you really can't
So
trust a lot of them.
So a lot of people didn't understand why I did the last live that I did. It was about this guy
I
named
missed
Jake.
it.
It was about this guy named Jake Lang, and he showed up in Dearborn, Michigan, and basically what he did was he showed up in Dearborn, Michigan to burn a Quran and do like this Christian march. And then he started beating the Quran with raw bacon in front of everybody.
Yeah, I think I saw some shorts.
Okay, so this is where it started to fuck with my head. I'm like, all right, let's dig into this guy a little bit more, figure this guy out. He's not Christian at all. But he was talking about like, so he scooped up Cam Higsby, who I went and met just recently at the Chicago Ice facility. And Cam Higsby's also in the news because Candace is going after him right now. So Cam Higsby, who I met recently, went over to Dearborn, and he got pepper sprayed in the face or maced or something. And he ended up going on this Jake guy's bus. And so all of a sudden they were like, oh, Cam and Jake are together. And then Jake starts doing these things where he's like, oh, I'm standing here with all my Aryan brothers, and started saying some really really racist shit. And I'm like, all right, now you're kind of borderlining on, where, because I think this is what's happening to the MAGA movement, is it's being like hijacked from the inside. I was trying to tell people, it's like,
yeah, that's
like
exactly. It's called co-opting, and this was something that the CIA is very, very good at. And every movement out there, and not just this one, but movements in the past, some I've been with, especially the Cassiopeians, when you start popping out truth in public, they get you from the inside. They try their damnedest to get you from the inside, and it becomes obvious after a time.
Okay, it gets deeper, Mudrabbit. So
Yeah.
Jake Lang was also a January 6th-er, and he was fighting actual officers, and he was one of the few people that was actually causing violence there. And also, after he had his bat mitzvah, he went and kissed the West Wall. He's definitely Jewish. He's not.
Oh yeah.
He's not a Christian. But when he went to Dearborn, he was carrying a cross on his back and talking about how he was a Christian, or like, and everybody wanted to classify him as just a white nationalist. And I'm like, no, this is way deeper than that. This guy's got weird ties that I can't figure out.
If I had come to you when I first met you, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago? And tried to explain to you how, I have to be careful here, quote, these people, unquote, do this shit. Would you have believed me?
I would have made you say, who are these people?
I'm not going to say it out loud on here. You know what I mean.
No, because at the end of that video, I was like, I'm not saying it's the Jews.
They're shit stirrers, and it's not the Jews so much as
it's not. It's the rhinos, like you were talking about. It's these people that have infiltrated this area, and it's not. But it just happens to be your Ben Shapiro's, your Jake Langs, and they just happen to be, Jewish.
Let me put it straight.
Producers.
No, let me put it straight. It's not that they're Jewish, it's that they're Zionists. And they're Christian Zionists too.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the whole point. It's just that, there seems to be a control group trying to regain control of our government since they've lost it.
Well, they've done it ever since I was younger. Like, I
They've
like
been
how
doing it all the time since the 1940s.
in my lifetime, like I like that Candace Owens calls herself the 9/11 generation, is because
Mhm.
I was in middle school. I was in middle school when they started doing these bold-faced lies to everybody, and we were trying to figure out what the fuck everything was about. Like as a middle schooler, and you're learning about weapons of mass destruction
Mhm.
in the Middle East and all of this stuff and bombing Iran and all of this stuff, and it's just like now I've almost gotten to the point where I think fucking Donald Trump is gaslighting people. Fucking, it's gotten so deep with me that I think Donald Trump is a necessary tool to
Okay,
get us to move forward, but I don't think he's right about everything.
okay,
There's a lot of people that
if you want to understand what it is he's doing, the problem with this is they can't tell us what they're doing until it's done. So there's a lot of people out there that are trying to split the movement that are taking advantage of that. And then there are a lot of people out there that weren't there when the drops came, so they don't understand why it's happening.
what happened to they have to tell us what they're doing?
That's the Satanists. They have to tell us to release themselves from karma. They tell us through movies, they tell us through stories, they tell us through TV, they tell us through all kinds of things. It's called predictive programming.
Why is it okay to lie to the American people? Is it under the ruse of keeping them safe from something? Is that why Donald Trump is Donald Trump's lying to the American people?
No, that was the repeal of the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama, that's a big mess with the propaganda. As long as something is under investigation, they can't talk about it. And this is what a lot of people seem to be missing. When
but there's a big difference between pretending that there's not something there and then boldly coming out and saying, hey, there's nothing there. The Epstein files aren't a real thing. This is just porn on a laptop.
No, the Epstein files are a real thing. I have to wait and see.
Why would Donald Trump be allowed to lie to the public like that?
He already released them. It's the other people, the Congress, that's holding it up.
Well, it's not just, I know the Congress.
He's getting blamed for it, but he said, turn it loose. He said, give it to them. And the Congress is holding back.
I'm blaming the people that came out publicly and were like Dan Bongino, Donald Trump, and FBI Director Patel. And they told us this didn't exist. They told us, we looked into it. There's nothing there. And then within 6 months, they were like, oh, yeah, never mind. There was something there, by the way. We just had to lie to you publicly.
There was also the thought that there was two lists, because when Q started talking about, okay, here, see if you understand how this works. The whole thing about the list started on the drops, started on 4chan, 8chan, 8kun. That's where that comes from. All the Anons talking about it because somebody mentioned it. Q talked about it. Now, it's like the game of telephone. Everybody started talking about it, and because Q confirmed the idea of it, it became the Epstein list. So hurriedly, you got shills on that list that are watching the conversation going. So let's say the Democrats need to frame up some people, so they go and they hurriedly make a fake list. See, before, when they said they had a list and the Democrats started screaming, don't release their list, it was the Democrats keeping it from, being in the news. Now, all of a sudden they have a fake list. Let's release the list.
One second. Let me jump in here real quick. Let me jump in here real quick, and hopefully Mr. Waters smacks me real quick, because this really will be close to the line.
It was bait and a trap.
About Hillary's ass. But moving forward, this is the stuff that got Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, and the other artists killed because they was days away from releasing Pizzagate. This is exactly going right back to that.
It all goes back to that. And that's why they can't drop a lot of information, because the amount of people that are involved, it would truly cause countries to collapse.
The only thing that I haven't seen, and the only thing I can actually put together of the confusion here has to do with classification. It doesn't have to do with anything else. It's the
Mhm.
classification of what people are calling a list. Some people call flight logs a list. Some people called a client list a list. And I think people are convoluting all of these things and just going, "Oh, it's a list." Yeah, a
Yeah,
list
well,
is a very
Donald
vague
Trump is on
fucking
the
term.
flight log, but he's not a client.
Yeah, and that's why I said, well, he doesn't have to be a client. He has enough involvement where I go, oh, okay, the blonde girl worked at the Mar-a-Lago. The blonde girl working at the Mar-a-Lago would be enough for me
Her
to be like,
father
all right,
worked
he's
there
close
too.
enough.
Her father
Yeah,
was a
he's
physical
close enough.
therapist.
Wasn't it Chappelle said that he always leaves Diddy's party before the freaky shit happens?
He never went to Diddy's party. Trump never
You mean-
did.
No,
But
I'm not saying
you get the metaphor I'm trying to put down. You just leave before the freaky shit starts.
Yeah,
But I
and
do-
that's
but I-
pretty much true of any party.
But I don't think
There's
that gives
a
you. I
line.
don't think it gives you plausible deniability, though. Like, there's definitely still
Yeah,
stuff
well, we're
there, and
still
it's
gonna
just like,
find out, aren't we?
I hope so, because
We're just
this
not
is
gonna.
what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about. Is they're not releasing lies. What they're doing is they're releasing partial truths that fit whoever's in charge's narrative.
Okay,
That's what they're going to do. Just like you
Exactly.
were saying, they'll release something
It's
about
like
the
the meme of
Democrats,
the
or they'll release
okay.
something.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. At this point,
Okay, Biden.
it's at this point, all the puzzle pieces are on the table, and a lot of people haven't put them together yet. We're coming up on the end of the movie. This is the end of the show. And we're getting to a point where you're watching people start to panic.
Exactly.
And
because
you're
Blovid was-
watching arrests. Huh?
Exactly. Blovid was the climax.
No.
Now we're in the falling actions.
No, it has nothing to do with the COVID. We were warned about that too, because they said that it had something to do with the Rothschilds.
Yeah, I was telling people about the biochemical weapon back in August before it existed and was named.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the other thing.
Gonzo, give me some examples of what you're talking about with people that are more American than him. I don't. So people are on the fence about this, and I'm really not. I think we should be deporting more people. I don't think we're deporting nearly as many people as we were promised. I don't think the Trump agenda is America first. I think there's other people that are still getting put before America in other countries. I don't think it's our job to get involved with foreign conflicts that we're aiding through the CIA and through other government organizations. The America First movement has gotten hijacked. Gosh, man, I listened to Nick Fuentes and Steven Crowder hash it out the other day, and that was actually very interesting. It was actually really interesting, and it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I knew he was going to be the guy that the Zionists lifted up to be anti-MAGA. They wanted him to break down the movement. That's why Nick Fuentes is getting all of this publicity all of a sudden.
Yeah, and Ben was inserted to be there just in such a situation. I mean, it's just so
it's so
predictable. It's so predictable.
Jeremy Boring was on a Discord chat with Nick Fuentes and was having discussions with him. If Ben publicly knew about that, and then to be like anybody that has discussions with this person, it's just like, this is bad. The same thing's happening to Tucker, and Tucker talked to
Nick Fuentes,
and then tried to gaslight Nick Fuentes right after he got off, and then called him a gay fed or something like that.
Well,
and it's just like
Fuentes came with his own rep. Fuentes came with his own rep long before all of this.
Yeah.
But if I have to trust anyone in this and any news that we're hearing from any person, it would be Candace, because I understand her passion, number one. I understand what it's like to lose a friend that way and not have anything to do to fix anything. I understand that emotion. I also understand what it's like for people to call you crazy when you're standing there with all the proof right there in front of them. And she's told us outright flat that the French government has a hit list on her. They have a
Okay.
hit on her.
Oh, they're trying
Well,
to get the signal, Mudrabbit. Go ahead, Mr. Waters.
They've been doing these even on a local level. There's a list of people that go out to the ICE facility that are put on a bingo card.
Yeah.
And I've been told about this, and I know some of the people around me have been put on this list. I don't know. I don't think I have, but at least I haven't been told I have. But Cam was put on the list. Jake was on the list for a little while, or Derek, whatever you want to call, whatever he wants to call himself. And then one of the girls that I was standing next to with an I Heart sign was put on these bingo lists of
Oh,
people that
God.
they're like targeting. And I'm like, dude. And then all of a sudden there was a bomb threat that gets called into the ICE facility, and then the what's his face shuts down. The mayor tries to shut down all public appearances at their local city hall. So they're no longer doing stuff in session right now. Like I was in conversations with the city of Broadview and trying to figure this out more, because this is what this was a pitch that Steven Crowder made to Nick. He's like, well, don't you think it's good that Donald Trump is sending the National Guard into Chicago and doing all of these things? And Nick looks right at the screen and he goes, he didn't send the National Guard into Chicago. Nothing's happening with Chicago. He goes, there's people still doing shit wild over at the ICE facility. And it's just like, there's such a disconnect from everybody else in the world and what they think Donald Trump is doing and what
Right.
he's actually accomplishing.
See,
And I
that's
don't know
the
if
whole
it's because
point.
of all the red tape around everything. Maybe he can't, but
It's not the red tape. It's everybody comes out with information before they have it fact checked. Especially the big news, if you watch what they're doing, they try to second guess the president. And if you pay attention, he does it to them every single time. He
Gonzo,
lets them put their foot in their mouth, and then he comes out and he gives you the information. But he leaves it just long enough. It's like a hook in the water.
Gonzo, there's white people getting deported as well. That's just an illusion that they're just going after dark-skinned people. I've watched white people get put into the ICE facility at Broadview, and they're probably European. I mean, there's talk of people coming from the northern border now because the southern border has been so locked down, and if people go back to the indigenous people argument, everybody was warring at the time. We all fought for this country at that time, and there was treaties made and there was deals made, and all of that is out of our control at this point. And I hate the fucking Native American argument. Like, they were all peaceful and we just came in and like slaughtered all the Native Americans. That's not what happened.
No, they were slaughtering each other long before we got here with smallpox.
And humans were going around and conquering everything and doing this for the longest time. We finally
Every
got
single country that has happened to. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
If you want better
Yeah.
tech, you're going to have immigration.
But yes, I agree. We're all immigrants. All they're trying to do with this immigration policy is get people to register as a person so that we can have you in the system. And don't get me wrong. So a lot of people don't want to be in the system, and I get that. As being American, I probably don't want to be in the system as well.
Do you know what real ID is?
What do you mean?
Okay, Florida and Illinois have sound X for their driver's license. I could figure out your driver's license number by your name.
Yeah.
You look on your driver's license, upper right-hand corner. Do you have a gold star?
No, because I don't have the new real IDs that they tried to do that with. It's the
They
same reason
didn't
I don't have a
ask us
passport
in
yet.
Florida. I tried to avoid it for the longest time, and eventually they get to a point where they issue it to you whether you like it or not.
Yeah, right now they have it tied to you have to pay more money to get it. So
I
as long
didn't
as
pay a
it's tied to
damn
that-
thing for it. They just stuck it
Eventually-
on
no,
my
I know.
license.
Well, eventually they'll do it. Like I said, it'll probably, like you were saying, it'll probably be something they do to everybody. But right now they're trying to make a little extra cash off of it. So you pay a little bit extra. It's the same for a passport, because those are the closest they can get to real IDs. But your driver's
you're in
license
the
is actually
system.
based
You're
off
in
of
the
your
system.
state ID, though.
Yeah, but you're in the system well enough that anybody can recognize you anywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you're also a number on top of that with your social security number.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
there's
that's
multiple
from
levels.
before that.
That's
Yeah.
from birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give you those numbers right away. That's how you
There
can
was one
directly
Actually,
get-
no, they did
where I
not
actually
give us
had
ours
my
at
old
birth.
Social security number.
No, they gave my son one at birth, but me, I didn't have one until 8th grade. And then one day, all the teachers went into the schools, into the classrooms one morning and asked the kids how many of them had social security cards, and nobody answered. And they gave us all applications and we filled them out. And we got social security cards.
What up, Sick? Sorry,
Hi,
man. I
Pop.
wasn't. What are you
Oi,
doing over there?
this is about starting a cult.
Hello, Sid.
I'm in.
Bump is in. Let's do this.
I said no questions. I'm in. No, I was just
in.
rambling, and I thought it was a nice provocative title.
Purple Kool-Aid only.
Purple Kool-Aid only. That's fair.
Well,
Great drink.
at least
I have
enough.
Gatorade.
How is our black correspondent going to come up and only ask for grape drink? That is not fair.
But the that Real ID stuff, they just when I renewed not too many years ago, they just automatically put it on mine, but
Yep.
I'm cleared through TSA, Homeland Security, all kinds of stuff.
We're labeled as
I
nice
didn't know
people.
they were. Well, I have to go through these clearances for the places I go to,
Mm-hmm.
and
That makes it easier, doesn't it?
I didn't hear they were trying to charge people for that. Is that true?
Well, Illinois,
Trying to make
Yeah,
a
in
buck.
Illinois.
Illinois
In
is
Illinois, they do.
Pritzker.
Oh well,
You got-
Illinois, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pritzker's broke right now. He's getting cut off.
Gonzo, I think it's college educated white people in general. And I actually lean towards the opposite sex. But the problem with the ruling class right now is these old people that are just stuck in office with no term limits.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the young people are even allowed to change it as much as
Oh,
they
so
want to.
so you did realize it as a typo as I did. He didn't mean ruin. He meant run.
I would say it's a little.
I
bit
read
both.
it as a typo.
But I got onto this conversation for the simple fact of, like, we don't need people like Jake Lang. There's enough problems with, and you guys call me racist, try to change my mind, whatever. There's enough problems with Muslim culture that you don't need to be racist on top of it. It's not because of the color of their skin. It's because their ideas are
They're
bad.
not assimilating. You have these people in every religion, but it just happens you got more of them in that one.
No, I don't think you have as many religions that allow people to sleep with their first cousins and relatives and stuff like that. And it's actually dumbing down.
You been to Appalachia lately?
Oh yeah, and it's outlawed. But it's outlawed in the United States, at least.
Yeah, exactly. And over
You know?
there, it's encouraged.
Yeah,
Happens
in
a
most
lot.
Muslim in most
Well, they
Muslim countries
say-
it is.
They
And that's
say
outside
that
of the average. The average is 70 IQ,
I was
which
just
in the
going to
United
say,
States is what? It's 5 points away from being considered actually mentally disabled. So
the last
and we're
one I
trying-
read was 88,
88.
and still that's bad.
Yeah, that's very low.
Oh, sorry, I'm
very
just
low.
seeing your comments here. CM Gonzo, please tell me one example of Trump's racism.
Yeah, no, I asked him for it and why he thinks
Oh, still waiting on an answer.
he says white people are the immigrants was the answer to when I asked that the first time.
Oh, that's not
And,
an answer to the question.
No, and
No, I
even-
think that's Gonzo. I think that's tongue in cheek.
Well, and I even doubled down and was like, all right, is this the Native American argument about, that we took the country from somebody else? Like, I don't know. Because I don't think the Native Americans would agree that anybody ran the country at that point. Everybody had their own warring fractions, but
Well,
Targeting
he
people
says
with
targeting
Hispanic names.
people with Hispanic names. Gonzo, nobody in Miami is complaining, and
Yeah,
there's
where's
like,
your evidence of this?
If you ask, I was gonna say, if you ask a Puerto Rican or anybody that's done it legally, it doesn't matter what color
yeah,
skin they have, they will tell you that they also want illegal immigrants deported.
yeah, they do.
And
The
people that
Cubans
Oh
do too.
yes.
Cubans are Cubans are so against communism and just the idea of that. They
And
will tell you
nobody's
about it for
bothered me
hours.
because of my last name at all.
It was here like a decade ago.
What was that?
I have several Asian and Hispanic friends that love this because
Yeah.
they came here. Their parents
Yeah.
came here legally. They went through the process. Their parents are pissed with Democrats. They're just, oh, you're just letting them
Well, yeah,
come on in. Oh, dude,
my
all the work I had to go through is just they're
My
mad.
husband had to do it legally, and when he got in here, once he got his green card, he had to sign up for Vietnam. So I don't want to hear it from these bleeding hearts. He had to do it the hard way.
No.
So, and the other thing I would say, and a lot of people are using this as an argument. So, if somebody puts out a description of somebody that committed a crime, say it's a black man wearing a red hoodie and blue jeans. If somebody gets picked up on the street that's wearing a red hoodie and blue jeans, they're not. The government's not committing a crime for bringing that person in and figuring out if they were involved in said crime by description. And that's
Right
what you're
now-
talking about,
That
Gonzo.
reminds
No,
me
no,
about-
hold on. But that's what you're talking about, Gonzo. Somebody fitting the description and getting brought in to see if they're legal is not illegal. It's not against the Constitution. It's not against any laws. We do this for every crime. If
Yeah,
somebody
I
fits
can-
the description of something.
I can give you an example. Just recently down in Key Largo, a woman was pulled over, blonde, petite, white as whiter than me, and I'm pretty damn white. And all you could see in the video was that they were pulling her from her car, and she's putting up such a struggle. It actually took two guys to handcuff her and put her in their car. Why? All they wanted to see was her driver's license. That's all. Just show me your driver's license. She refused to show them her driver's license. She rolled up her window. Why?
Oh,
You know, this is the
Yeah.
attitude. This is the
One of my
attitude.
favorites.
Our country right now is at a crisis. So people need to step back and hold on to their emotions and get their shit together, because if a cop stops you and asks you for your driver's license, damn it, show it to him.
Well, and that's the
Well,
craziest
last
thing
thing-
is
Water, you reminded me of the one time I was walking up the street and I saw a police car literally stop this guy. He got out of the police car and walked right up to this guy, and I heard him from across the street. I stopped you because you're black. And I literally turned around and stopped and started looking like, wait a minute, what the hell is about to go down across the street?
and
Well,
that
when
has
it
us-
got
that-
bad in Miami and when the cocaine cowboys were running amok down there, cops were stopping everybody.
well,
and
are we
nobody
pretending
complained like
this
this.
didn't- The same thing happened during 9/11. Do you remember all the fucking Muslim hate that happened after 9/11?
Mm-hmm.
Or just
course.
dark-skinned hate? Like, and it was all under a ruse of the idea that we needed to go to war with fucking
Yeah.
Iraq. Like, and how many people were just blindly thrown out of that was during the Bush administration,
Yep.
right?
Oh boy, do I
And then
remember that. One.
and then the hatred came during Obama's administration, his first administration.
Well,
'Cause
Obama's the divider.
Didn't he take over right after Bush?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hand
So
placed
he
in there.
basically inherited all the Muslim hate and the idea that
Well,
nobody
when
was coming
when
together.
Obama got elected, we called him Bush Light.
Bush light.
Yeah.
Was he
We
running
called
against
Manchurian
Kerry the first
Candidate.
time? Was it Kerry the first time he ran, or was
It was McCain.
it McCain? Okay.
And the other
Yeah, I
one, who was the
remember that.
independent? Because I voted the independent. I didn't like either one of them.
Oh god, the one that flipped.
Nader.
Oh, whatever his name was.
Oh, Ralph Nader.
Ralph
oh,
Nader
yeah.
was when Bush was being elected. That was the Chads. Everybody was
Yeah.
complaining about the Chads. We got to go to
Well,
electronic
I
voting.
thought the hanging Chads was between Al Gore and Bush.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that
Al
was
Gore
Gore and
actually
Bush.
won the election. Like if we went back and looked at the numbers today, Al Gore actually won the election.
Yeah, I wore a
It's crazy.
t-shirt. I wore a
Yeah,
t-shirt over to the place where we vote that said
Lost.
Bush and Gore make me want a Ralph. I still have that
That's
shirt
funny.
somewhere.
That's a funny shirt. What were you saying, Curse? I missed it.
Yeah, there's been a handful of times where the popular vote actually lost.
A
I'm
lot
not
of
even talking about
times.
popular vote. I'm talking about the overall electoral college. Al
popular
Gore
vote don't
actually
mean
won that,
shit.
and it was actually based on Florida at the time. And
Yep.
they ended up. There was a court case over it. I remember how long it was drug out. There was a court case over it, and they just decided it for Bush. And what happened was Al Gore actually yielded to Bush and
Yep.
did his whole thing, and it was like, all right, you take it.
That
couldn't
was our
imagine.
county too. That was Broward County.
That would have been the weirdest out. Like, could you imagine
Great
the
sheriff's
life we
department
would
out
be
there.
living
And
Al
then
Gore.
Wow.
you got to
That's
hear this, guys.
another
This did
reality I haven't heard of yet. Okay.
This did not make the national news, but it was in the Broward County news. At the time, our voter lady was Oliphant, and she wasn't even a U.S. citizen. She was Jamaican, and she had an office in, I think, Fort Lauderdale. And after Bush was elected and after all of that happened, they found boxes and boxes and boxes of the voter sheets, because back then we used those cards that had the hole punch.
Yeah.
So there were like boxes of those in this office, and she didn't even use the office. She would go home to Jamaica every weekend. So yeah, it's been a big thing ever since then.
And Gonzo, I would tell you, go look up. There's because I found this from Steven Crowder and his source, because they actually looked into this more, because they were trying to figure out the deficit of people taking immigrants taking advantage of the system, as well as people that are paying taxes. And here's where it actually differs. It's like it's less than 10% of illegal immigrants are paying taxes, and the amount that the surplus, there is no surplus of them breaking even or anything like that. It's like it's like, I don't remember, they had 62 billion or something like that. So as long as they spend less than 62 billion to get people out of the country, then they're fine. 62 billion is a lot, like, to actually have to work with when it comes to there's not an ICE facility in every county of every state. Like, they're not spending enormous amounts of money on actually doing this. And I think the thing that's costing the most money to the taxpayers is that none of the officers that are sworn to work with each other are not working together. So when they're all running opposite groups and doing things against each other, like in our state, Gonzo, then what happens is that makes Broward's working against ICE. The county and the state the county's working against ICE. The state police aren't working against ICE. They're actually working with ICE. But when you have all of these running conflicts, you're still paying for taxes for all of these officers. So instead of them working together and getting the problem actually solved, they're harboring it and making it harder, especially if you have the governor making decisions on top of it.
Look at what's happening. Where is it, in Oregon or Washington State, where the police are actually sabotaging the ICE guys? And then even in your place, when you reported those shields, they didn't do anything about it the first time.
Not until I got to the state police. And that's why I said the state police are actually doing more. The local police didn't give a shit. And you can see it because well, I don't know if it's a personal thing, and this might even tie into unions. And this is kind of why I started talking to the cops a little bit more about unions the last few times I was there, is because 2 people from the Chicago PD got deported because they overstayed their visas and didn't try to renew them. And at no point were they trying to self-deport. I think when they looked at self-deportation, I think it's close to like 1.7 million people self-deported before
there's
all
an
of these
app
raids
for
even
it.
happened. Yeah, before all these raids even happened. And
there's an app.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually the numbers are actually pretty weird, and they're actually a lot lower than anybody thinks they are. Just like Obama's numbers aren't really as big if you're talking about over an 8-year span. Like his numbers aren't that big, and he wasn't doing it any more ethically So I don't like that argument either. It's just like all of these presidents have done this. All of these presidents wanted more border security. All of them wanted a fence or something with the border that they actually all campaigned for up until Donald Trump was talking about it. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, none of them wanted to talk about a wall or anything like that.
Well,
But
that's the whole thing. They tell us what we want to hear. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. They tell you what you want to hear, and they use big fancy words. And sometimes they jumble a bunch of words together that you really don't understand what they said, but it sounds good. And
Gonzo.
then once they get into office, nothing.
Yeah, it's called
Absolutely
lying.
nothing. Yeah.
But Gonzo, what I was saying is
My
all
bad.
of these
I gotta
police
go, Mr.
officers.
Ryder. Strips.
Later,
Thanks for coming,
Zero.
Chris.
Yep, yep.
All of these people are in a union together, and that like as union members are supposed to protect each other. And I didn't know if that has something to do with the fact that even people inside of their union are getting deported for not following. I mean, the union should get in trouble for hiring people or keeping people on the payroll that are illegal.
Well, that's just it. Back in the mid
Like companies aren't
80s,
even getting in trouble for it.
back in the mid 80s, they decided that they were going to tackle immigration. So they rolled out the I-9 form. Remember that?
It was
Oh
proposed
no,
by the
you're probably
Democrat-
too young
No,
for that, but they rolled it
I
out.
had to study, so I had to study this. It was actually proposed by the Democratic Party.
Right.
Yeah.
And the law was, and it was a law, that you could not be hired anywhere unless you had to fill out an I-9 form and have it witnessed. But the problem is they don't do it. Nobody adheres to the rules, and that's what
I
they're
think they don't
doing is they're
follow up.
going after the businesses that do this.
Well, they don't follow up. It's like if
They
you fill
followed
something
up
out,
back then, but they don't
they used to,
anymore.
yes.
Mhm.
And I wonder if it's vague in the description of what you have to do. Maybe the employer just has to ask you, and as long
No,
as they ask you,
you have to present either what is it? If I can remember correctly, you have to present an item for column A or an item each for column B and C. And the whole point is that if you're an immigrant with the right to work, then you have to submit that number because that's issued by the Social Security
it's not hard to get
system.
fake documents though nowadays either.
Right, that's the
Well, it's not
problem.
even, and it's not even that they're fake documents because I use that term kind of like vaguely.
No,
It
they're
could be
fake.
somebody
They
else's.
found
No,
they
it could be
found a
somebody
bunch of
else's that
double
was
ups.
deceased. Well, it could be somebody else that was deceased. It could be
Mhm.
somebody else that was registered at some point and is no longer registered in the
Right.
United States. And that's why you had ballots going out to people that were dead, is because there was still people cashing in on Social Security from them, and people were trying to figure out like, oh, okay, clearly the system has holes in it. We need
Okay,
to
yeah,
fix it.
the holes are intentional. If you think back to what happened with the rise of Germany, with Hitler in Germany, what they were doing was the exact same thing. What they called it here was DEI. It's a method of getting sub-educated people into positions where higher education demands.
Yeah, which contradicts the 14th Amendment, doesn't it? Yeah, it by hiring people based on sex, race, gender.
Right. But they
Like
they
so what happened
couched
is,
it. They
yeah,
couched it as being fair, and now we
well, and
have all
it
these
was a
bleeding
progressive.
heart white women.
Yeah, it was a progressive idea to make things even, and it actually didn't
Yeah.
even things out. What it did is it put people in positions that they probably shouldn't be in. Doesn't matter if
Right.
you're talking about air traffic control or you're talking about a doctor. You just want to know that the
Right.
best person for that position is there. I don't
There
care if all of
is
my doctors are Asian or if all of them are from the Middle East. If they're the best person for that job, that's where they should be. Like
there
that's
is a
what I want.
person called Andrei Lobachowski. He's the last remaining survivor of the White Rose. And before he passed away in his 80s, he willed his manuscript to Laura, the lady I used to study under. And they wrote an article on it and gave him full credit. It's called Political Ponerology. And they explained exactly how it happened in Germany. And since this was privy to the Cassiopean group before all of this broke loose, I think when we got it, Clinton was on the way out and Bush was in.
If you
And
don't know who that dude
it-
is, you can just stop talking.
who?
Not you. Gonza.
No, he's talking about Gonzo. No, I know Gonzo, and that's why
Yeah, Gonzo's a
that's why I'm
friend.
talking to him. He's a good guy.
Oh my God, such a great
Yeah.
movie. I
So
own
Let
it.
me.
he laid it out exactly what was going to happen and how this was going to go. And looking at how it went in Germany and how it's going here now, it's exactly the same playbook.
So Gonzo, what I would tell you to pay attention to the most is the laws of the state that you're in. While getting yelled at and called a Nazi, I called one of the state troopers over because there was a black gentleman that was recording in front of me and didn't understand the laws in Illinois. And I was trying to explain to him, I was like, no. Driving is a privilege in Illinois. It's basically unconstitutional in Illinois, how they treat driving. So they can pull you over for any reason in Illinois. They don't need a reason to pull you over. And all they have to do is, ask you, they can ask you for your ID. They can ask you for anything they want to. It's the same reason that in other states, if they have like a DUI checkpoint where you have to drive through and talk to the people, in other states, you can turn around and drive away. In Illinois, if you do that, you'll get arrested for getting out of the line because you're supposed to comply
Well,
in Illinois. Like the Illinois laws are really fucked up. Like it's so weird.
that's pretty much a standard for all places.
It's not though.
One thing they can pull you. Well, you turn
They have to
around
have a
before
valid.
a check.
They have to-
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
suspicion.
because checkpoints are unconstitutional unless you're talking about
They're
a border
not.
unless you're talking about a border check. They do First Amendment audits on this all the time. And if you're several miles
Yeah, and I've
away
seen
from the
a lot
border,
of them be wrong.
but if you're several
Um,
miles away from the border, then they actually reach a point where you can no longer do border checks. You have the right to travel unmolested in the United States. And that you don't have to agree to search and seizure of your property or any of that. And it's unconstitutional in Illinois to make people do that.
Well, they
well,
have a
you're
way
driving
around
for
it.
one.
They
You're
have a way
driving for
around it.
one. No,
They
we
have a way
plenty.
around it. They
Oh, I know.
ask
Suspicion.
you when they stop you if they can search your car. And if you say no and you insist that no, you can't get in my car, they'll bring a dog and they'll run that
Yeah,
dog around your car. And now they
nothing illegal
have
about that.
probable cause. Now they have probable
Well,
cause if that dog
only
alerts.
if the dog hits.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And if the
but
dog doesn't hit, you're on your way.
but I guarantee you they have taught those dogs to fucking do commands where it will give them enough reason to search. They can come up with a reason. It's not
You can fight that
Then
in
they
court.
damn sure better find something in my car.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they find something in the
Look,
search or not.
we
It's
just
just
don't
like, all right,
train.
so think about it.
Just
If
don't
the dog
train
scratches,
dogs to
Let's
hit
put
for
it this way.
nothing to cause
if
a
a dog
search
if a dog
because that
scratches,
leads to lawsuits.
Yes, it
All
does.
put
right,
it this way.
For
it's
one
just
thing,
don't
How many
train them.
times?
Oh,
Let me ask you
false
guys this.
indicator.
This is how you know this isn't true. How many times have you seen somebody win a lawsuit of getting damages taken care of on their car because a dog scratched their car, signaled that their car had something in it, and it didn't have anything? I've been searching, my car didn't have anything in it.
Several times.
Yeah, but they don't ever get payments back from the dog messing up their paint on their car.
No, I've seen it happen. It happens in our department.
Oh, does it?
I mean, they will take it to court. That is unlawful
yeah.
damage or an unlawful search. Phishing, basically.
Because it's
And they
is it
have
because
had
you
the
guys are a company?
damages. They've had the damages covered to a company.
No, I'm saying because you were talking about trucking and you were talking about
No,
in
I'm
your
talking.
line of business.
No, I'm talking about the sheriff's department.
Oh, okay. So because I don't see it on the civilian level. I can see the funds to go to court and take something like this to court on a business level, but I can't see it on and I would see most business trucks or stuff like that don't get pulled over as often as civilians do because of that exact thing. Most civilians don't have the ability to fight
think
things in court the same way.
I think it depends on what
I'll
state
give
you're
you.
in, what county you're in, who your sheriff is.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
of that.
we're lucky
They're all
here.
very
We got
close.
Sheriff Ivy and we've got Grady Judd
You were
right next
talking.
door.
You were talking about the whole DUI checkpoint thing. I found that funny because one night I was in Pennsylvania. This was years ago. Some back city, whatever. They had a sign like a mile away from the checkpoint. It's like, DUI checkpoint, mile ahead. And there was an
Yes.
intersection in between. like traffic light intersection. It's just like, well, that was kind of dumb to put that sign there. And I watch people turn around, and it's just like nobody's sitting there monitoring or nothing. It's just like, huh. And I get up to the checkpoint, you know, they're stopping every car, and they see me and they just wave me on through.
Yeah,
I
I've
was like,
been
you
waved through
got,
several.
okay.
Well, and
They
I've
can
also
tell.
seen,
They know what they're looking for. I mean, come on, guys. Before everybody now has to get used to this out in the Midwest, we've been going through it down in Miami for years.
I've also seen people get arrested. Well, they know there's a DUI checkpoint ahead. They'll go several miles back and hold a sign that says
Yeah.
DUI checkpoint up ahead. Turn now if you don't want to be into it. And then they'll arrest those people for doing that.
If they
That is
catch them.
entrapment.
That's what I'm saying. It's just absolutely insane. It's insane the loopholes that there are in multiple states. It's not like this in every state, but
In some states, they
crazy.
just get shot.
Crazy. Yeah, true. Just hide them. Oh man.
Oh, you didn't see
I don't
that
know
sign
why
behind
this.
that bush?
Yeah, these are the things that I don't think people realize. These are the MK Ultras that we're dealing with every day. We're getting funneled into systems. We're working for $1 that doesn't exist and busting our asses 60 hours a week to bring home enough to scrape by. Like this is
something
this
big
for
is
the
about
MK
to
Ultras
happen.
today.
Something big is about to happen. I don't know what it is, but they did say they had a whole spread on Christmas. So we'll see if it's this year.
I want Tesla. Tesla better release his flying car before the end of the year.
Oh, come on. You gonna buy one?
Am I gonna buy one? I don't have the money. I guarantee I'm not gonna have the money to buy one. I don't know how much they're gonna be listed as, but I guarantee I'm not gonna be in that.
You know, the problem with these electrical engines is if your house isn't upgraded to handle the voltage, you can't even use them.
You're going to be decades off from flying cars because the FAA is getting involved in that. There's too much regulation, too much training, too much experimentation.
Oh yeah, no, it's just another.
Let people fly cars.
No. You're 100% right, Sick. You're talking about a whole different dynamic of ways that we can tax Americans. You mean we can have people paying tolls in the sky?
These people can't drive in the rain. You think we're about to let them start flying?
Oh my God.
Be landing in cow fields everywhere.
Because I noticed it when people started driving around paracopters, and you'd see like cops following them on the ground and like trying to catch up with them and like pull them over or whatever when they land. And it's just like, yeah, we don't really have those kind of air traffic laws depending on the size of the machine that you're in. It's all based on size. Once we came out with drones, now anything over, I think, 3 pounds in my county has to be registered. And anything smaller than that, like the micro drones, don't have to be registered. And only airspace is private in a lot of places. So it's like we're slowly moving towards, okay, what is going to be restricted area above your head?
What's the weight limit? Next thing you know, we'll have J-Bay complaining we don't build bigger drones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, you should really get in contact with this person here in the comments. They seem legit and perfectly normal and on the up and up. GHFHB.
Mr. Gonzalez in the chat actually went to the Chicago ice facility with me. I've met him in person. Yeah. He went to the ice facility with me.
Gonzo's a longtime buddy.
Yeah. Couple fries short of a happy meal, but he's a good guy.
Okay, fine. Gonzo, I'm talking about GFHB.
My cat is trying to pull this.
Whoever this is. They just want to help you grow your stream and your numbers. You know, they're totally legit.
People.
Check out their Discord.
Yeah.
It's totally legit.
I've been spammed so much today by Kick fucking chatters. And this is the first day I've ever had, like, there's probably been 90 messages that came through on Kick already. I'm like, that's insane. And they're all just spam messages of people trying to share their channels or get me to buy something from them. It's weird. It's a weird world
Lordy.
to live in.
Well, things are about to get interesting.
I mean, I hope so. It'd be weird if we went stagnant at this point.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that are feeling this negative vibe, and for me, it's been nothing but positive. But I don't think a lot of people get outside and get grounded either. They've got their noses stuck to their phone all day.
Mm,
I think it can help in some ways because just of how information is passed nowadays, but it doesn't hurt to put it down and just go back to the roots, like we were talking about earlier, with just knowing, like, I think I'm going to end up buying one of these Pioneer books that they had, and they were just talking about keeping eggs fresh instead of vinegar and just all this
Oh,
weird
talk
stuff.
to me.
Oh man, it was so good. It was so
This
good.
is
Well,
all I do.
just having something like that, or preserving stuff in honey, and
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of really cool things I've always wanted to do, and I'm like, all right, I should start dabbling with that. I mean, my mom got me into jarring and pickling when I was younger, yeah, because they wanted to have a garden, and so I learned some of the base level stuff, but not like, oh, how to keep shit good for like months at a time prior to having refrigerators.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Well, they
a
use
different concept.
the farm up in Kentucky, and my family has a root cellar from back before there were refrigerators. The house is old, but
I
they
was
still
talking to
keep
people.
stuff down there.
Oh yeah, the root cellars are always been a big thing. Well, and same with wine cellars and stuff like that.
Well, if you
Even the
want to keep something cold, there's something we do in hurricanes, and it's from India. You take a big clay pot and a smaller clay pot, and you fill the bigger one with sand around the smaller one and put a lid on it and put your stuff in there. You put water in the sand and just let it soak into the clay pot, and it keeps your food good.
Okay.
Because the cooler only lasts so long. That
Yeah.
you just keep putting water in and it cools it off. You just put it in the shade.
Yeah, because the coolers, as soon as they lose their cooling inside, then they just generate heat. It's almost like trapping the heat as well.
And
So
ice
someone
is a
turns into
commodity in a hurricane. After a storm, everybody wants ice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so many weird things that I feel like we're just getting farther and farther away from. But what was the other thing I was thinking about when you were talking about root cellars? Somebody was talking to me about government cheese the other day, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you know why they were giving that out? It's because they had a shit ton of it that they overproduced, and they were keeping in mines, like underground, storage mines, and that's where all the government cheese was coming from. And they had,
Yeah, it
like,
was with the
bulk
WIC
blocks of it.
program. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they were giving it out to people. I don't remember who I was just talking about.
They had
this
to get
with.
rid of it.
Yeah. And everybody was like, it was the best cheese. I was like, yeah, it was mostly oil. And that's why
Yeah.
it was good. Like, they
It's
were
like
definitely
Velveeta or
good.
something if you melt it down.
Exactly. It had a good melt to it. So you knew it had to be high in oil.
Hmm.
So why do you think there's going to be a Mars attack, Gonzo? I don't think it's going to be the Martians, but it is kind of convenient. It is kind of convenient that the
I
same
keep
time you
thinking of
think
the
a Mars
character on
attack-
that movie.
Oh, the guy with the
The eyes.
yeah, and the big
The
eyes
brain.
and the brain head. But it is weird that Elon Musk all of a sudden stopped talking about going to Mars. It's not one of his things he's worried about anymore.
Yeah, but do you notice how many ships are coming back?
What's that? What do you mean?
I mean, every other day there's a video or something of one of his rockets landing perfectly on the pad, and you know it's always a different landing because they're never
Yeah,
the
but I don't
same.
think but I don't know necessarily if they're going. But
What's he
I don't know
doing
how
up
far they're going.
there? What's he
I
doing
think he's
up
working.
there?
I think regardless, he's working on just the control of the rockets and being able to land them.
Hmm.
Like, which I think he's got it figured out at this point.
Yeah, he
It almost
does.
looks like AI watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new atlas that everybody's discovered that I've been talking about for the last month. I was like, if people would just realize how much shit is just flying around.
I know.
Like, I talked about this a month ago, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, there's a new one now." It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
been out there.
they did talk about this back in the 90s. They were talking about, okay, in the galaxy there is a ring of rocks, for lack of a better description, that runs around the rim of the galaxy, but the other, it's, if the galaxy is running horizontal, this is running vertical. It's almost like a gyroscope.
Are you talking
And
about the one that Pluto's in?
No, no, I'm talking about the whole galaxy.
Oh, okay, so way
If
farther
you
out.
envision it like a gyroscope, there's this ring of rocks that we're about ready to traverse
Okay.
as a planet. And they were talking about that back in the 90s. And then somewhere around 2001, 2002, they shut down all the information and they shut down Soho for a while so that we couldn't see what was going on with the sun, Soho and Lascaux. So I think that must be about the time we got near it or entered it, or maybe we're going through it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, those ones got me, Gonzo. I don't know why everybody believed that. I'm like, what are we looking at right now? Are you guys like showing me a diagram where cameras just don't get knocked over in the diagram? Like, I don't understand why watching all of those nuclear
Oh,
explosions.
they've already debunked it. They said it was a model. It wasn't even a real house.
Oh yeah, there was no way. There was no
Yeah,
way those
it's a
were real
model.
homes.
Model and a fan and a light.
God, and who did I watch? I was watching an old episode of the Y-Files today, and they were trying to debunk the Kubrick having any involvement with making a moon landing film. In that, and then they showed me an actual video of a guy that was pretending to be Kubrick and answering questions, but the guy's actual name was Thomas. I don't know why his name was Thomas, but the guy that was interviewing me all of a sudden was like, "You're breaking character. Come on, Thomas, get back into character." And I'm like, "What the hell? What is happening? Everything's fake, and everything's gay."
Well, they
Wasn't that
lied
the
to
old
us so
Kansas?
many times. I mean, geez, I noticed how much they took out of education just between the time I was in school and my son was in school. I've taught my grandchildren the preamble because they didn't even have that in school. Now in our state, they're putting civics back in. But my grandchildren can't read cursive. They can't read an analog clock. That's distressing.
Oh yeah, cursed with that one. There was all kinds of political ties where they wouldn't even let Elon Musk get involved with it until a certain point because of the election and what was going on, and they didn't want it to look. Oh yeah, that was all fucked up with what was going on at the space station. And there was also something with a submarine one too, where they wouldn't let him get involved right away.
Yeah,
And
because they would rather. Well, look at what she said. The Democrats said that what are we? We're leverage. They don't even view us as people.
no, we're bargaining chips.
Yeah, they're lizards.
Just numbers. They're lizards.
Yeah, they're lizards. They're all
Lizard
cold-blooded.
people.
Yeah, lizard people.
Oh man, no, it's so goofy. I keep saying you have some beautiful music playing in the background. Is that like classical?
It's not
what
me.
is that?
Oh, I don't
Stick,
know
is
what
that
the
you?
hell this is. I've been playing this. I've been playing.
I
this
just don't
game.
I just don't want to get copyrighted on it,
It's
man.
called
I
an
don't know what you're
aria.
playing back there.
Oh no, you're
What up,
fine.
Si?
It's from
Hey,
this
Si.
damn video
Come on
game
up.
I've been playing for years. Because of technical difficulties, I finally just beat it. Let's doing the end credits.
But yeah, I was definitely deep diving into that the kids in the kids on the trains and adoption places and all of this, and just how it just became non-existent like after
Well, she wasn't
the 40s.
adopted. She grew up in the orphanage. She went from one orphanage onto the train into another orphanage, and by then she was much older, so she didn't get adopted. Her brother did.
Okay.
But she grew up in the orphanage and got turned loose, I think, at 17 to 18, I think, somewhere around there.
Are you allowed to be emancipated as somebody in an orphanage or no?
In Florida, you can get emancipated at 16.
But
From
is
an
that through your
orphanage?
parents, or is it through your parents, or can you do it through an orphanage?
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I think what they do is they give you like a guardian ad litem to
Okay.
help you get along, to help you get started.
Yeah, because
That's
I
what my
never
brother
knew.
had.
I didn't know if they had the same restrictions as somebody, like if you have to be with the government, because also if they extend healthcare for kids to the age of 25, like they did, are people in orphanages often held until that age too? and
I
protected
don't
by the
think
government,
so.
or are they dropped from insurance and
I
then
think
kind of
that's
put
I
out?
think that's state to state.
Okay.
I think that's under state jurisdiction.
Well, and also now it seems to be a big push on people like families adopting sloths of kids, and it's not so much of like an orphanage. It's like families getting several kids to have for a period of time.
Hmm.
And they usually pass through several houses before they end up being at one that actually sticks. And then you hear about, because it went from abuses at orphanages to adopting parents, and then there being a big crackdown on a bunch of parents actually in the adoption system, and like
Hmm.
I don't know, they weren't doing things up to snuff.
Yeah,
I don't
Sai's
know.
in the chat. Sai, come on up.
She said she was just you're more than welcome to come up, but that she was just stopping in to say hi.
No.
But you're more than welcome to. You're always welcome.
Yeah, I wish that I had had more of those conversations with her, because these are the things that stick in your head as a child. And then you grow up and they're gone and you think, wow, I wonder what she meant by that. But I did get enough information from her to know that happened to her. And I did get enough information from her to not trust a lot of things that they show us, that we see. So I've never been a trusting person in the news and in whatever they tell us in school and science. I've always been a bit rebellious that way, and I think that came from her. But then she lived back before, that's when electricity was free and it was coming from the ether in her youth.
Okay. I just looked up the AI overview. This is kind of creepy. Orphan trains were a controversial U.S. program that ran from 1854 to 1929. So it's the exact time frame that me and you were talking about, moving over 100,000 poor, homeless, or orphan children from eastern cities like New York to rural Midwest families for placement, aiming to rescue them from poverty or provide farm labor. But often separated siblings led to child labor exploitation. And so this is what we were talking about. All of a sudden, they were just sending off all
The
these
exploitation, though, happened in the East. That's the whole thing, and that's the lie. They brought her from the West. Something happened out West, and now you watch this stuff about, was it John Levy, who shows you all these photographs of buildings that were impossible for us to build in those days, and they're uncovering them. They're covered in dirt and mud, and they're uncovering these buildings. So these kids, a lot of them came from the West, because she said they shipped her to Ohio from the West.
So and that's what I think it is people on coastal cities getting sent to the Midwest, because I think it would be major cities on any of our ports.
She was shipped from the West.
Yeah, to Ohio, like and because that's what they were talking about, people getting shipped to the Midwest from like New York. So they were saying east to the Midwest, and you're saying west to the Midwest.
No, it came this way because all of the labor was in the East Coast. All of the factories were in the East Coast.
That's true.
So they're lying.
But when did they shut down? When did they start shutting down the labor laws in? When did kids stop working in factories?
It was by degree, because I got a job when I was 12 and we had labor laws then in this state. We still had dry counties too. I mean, Hollywood's still a dry county, but the labor law thing came about slowly over the decades.
It was enacted in 1938, the Fair Labor Standard Act, which is for children under the age of 16.
Mm-hmm.
And
you had to have a permit.
And if you look at when those trains stopped running, that was in 26. It was 10 years prior to this being enacted.
Mm-hmm. But no, they weren't going. They weren't going west to populate. They were coming from the West. I want to know what happened. Where were their parents? I do know that her mother died and her father could not take care of them. So he left them at an orphanage.
So
and
were
the
these?
orphanage
So
the
were,
orphanage put her on the train to another orphanage.
were her parents immigrants to the United States, or were they United States citizens and they just weren't able to raise her? Does she know that much or no?
No, there was something that happened. There was a famine. Um,
Yeah, the Great Depression was around that time.
no, the Great Depression was later. That was my grandmother and when my mother was young. But there was something going on out in the West. I think when was the Dust Bowl? Probably getting my history mixed up. But there's something happened because he couldn't get a job. He couldn't
Dust
feed the
Bowl.
kids.
Dust Bowl was in the 30s, and so they
That
were
was
getting
was with the Depression, yeah.
yeah.
But no, something else happened back when my great grandmother was going, because she emphasized to me all the time, don't believe everything you see and only half of what you hear. So there was something going on out there, and there's a history too that's hidden from us, because when I went to Kentucky and saw where my
Okay,
grandfather
this is all at the same time. And the Great Depression was from 1929 to 1939. So after all of
Oh,
these kids were shipped out, that's when the Great Depression happened.
yeah, but you had the flu epidemic. See, this is all a program. They make the population sick and then they have a depression. That's what they plan for us now. But they had what was that, 1911, 1912, 1913, somewhere around there. And that's also when Federal Reserve took over.
That was February 1918, the Spanish flu.
Spanish flu, because I saw the graves of the babies in my grandfather's, where he's buried.
So during the time that we lost all of these kids, kids were getting shipped by the trainfuls all over the United States while we were losing them. And this was one of the, and I gotta say this is a conspiracy because I haven't seen any evidence to this, but they were trying to make the argument that these kids were coming from factories, like they were created possibly in these factories because they didn't have any sources to like.
Oh, you mean the incubator
where
babies?
these kids, yes.
Those were the ones that were at the Chicago World's Fair.
Well, and that ties into what you were talking about with structures and our capability of building up. Because I'm not full Tartaria yet, but I'm at the verge of the mud flood. Like there's definitely been some weird structures that we have pictures of that don't look like they're that easy to build. And I don't know.
We certainly didn't have that equipment.
No. But I also can't tell if they're wood structures or not as well. Some of the structures that I was looking at and stuff like that, you couldn't tell what the material that they were using was. And I think that makes a huge difference too. Because if they did the Chicago's World Fair and then tore it all down, like that's the claim for a lot of stuff is they built it for the fair. It's just like, why would you build all this stuff for a fair and then tear it all down?
And they wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
It's a waste of money.
None of it makes sense.
And I think at the Chicago World's Fair is when they actually introduced refrigeration, which you were just talking about. That was the first time they introduced it. This ties in our whole conversation. Like, that's weird.
And what's really wild is one of my first memories before my great grandmother came to live with us. I think I must have been about 4. This apartment that she lived in was a very old building. And when you went in, it was like a 1-room apartment with wood floors. And she had an ice box. And they were still delivering ice to people in this building, coming up with an ice truck and bringing it up with the pinchers. And it was lead lined or metal lined, tin lined, whatever. And it was like a small cabinet, and they just shoved the ice in the bottom and she'd put her stuff in on the top.
And how often did these ice deliveries have to happen?
I don't know. I was about 4 years old, maybe 3 years old. We're talking 1959.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like as common as like milk delivery, if it was.
We got that. We got that well into the 60s.
Yeah.
I still have a bottle. Yeah.
You can still get it today.
I still have a glass bottle.
Overwise still delivers milk.
You can't get it down here, but man, MacArthur Dairy was the big delivery down here. My granny, she lived with us. We get our butter, our eggs, our milk, our bread, and other things, pastries, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And that ties into when we started making things cheaper, because just the
Mhm.
delivery alone, and like we wanted people going to grocery stores to buy all of their things all at once. And we were usually getting cheaper products made cheaper. That's why I think there's a huge difference in the bread and pasta that we eat in the United States and then somewhere like Europe or in like Italy.
Yeah,
Like they don't
our
have the,
wheat's different.
oh yeah, when we bleach it, we do all kinds of stuff to rush the process. And I didn't realize, I mean, if you don't know that Monsanto owns 99% of all the agriculture that happens in the United States, the
Mhm.
killing of it and the feeding America of it, I guess,
Yeah.
because they control both ends. And that's when we started, I think it was in the 30s or the 40s is when we started getting higher wheat yields, because we were trying to do more than one yield of wheat in a
Mhm.
season. And so they were rushing it, and I don't know what they were doing. And then all of a sudden, within the next 30 years is when people started getting gluten allergies and shit like that. That
And
was
that's
never a
what
thing prior to that.
that was the advent of DDT. When was DDT?
DDT.
Because I
What's DDT?
remember when in the 60s when there was a big protest to ban it, and they eventually said they were going to ban it. I don't believe they took it out of all the products, but look up DDT as an insecticide. And now with the Roundup, I believe they're putting it in the seed because they're doing the genetic stuff, and that's what causes the bugs to blow up, because bugs don't fart and they don't burp. So whatever this is that's eating them is eating them from the inside when they eat these seeds. Now, the cancer my mother had was exactly like that. She was eating the basmati rice that came from India, and her gut blew up and filled with fluid. And that's exactly what the Monsanto does to the bugs.
So it was synthesized in 1874. People
Mhm.
didn't realize we were putting it in their food until
Yeah.
1939.
Yep. And then they were spraying our fields with it.
Yeah.
I know what I remember what it smelled like. Jeez.
And they didn't ban it until 1972.
72. Okay.
Work.
So about 40
Yeah.
about 45 years of it.
Mhm.
At
And the
least.
malathion. Oh my God, the mosquito trucks.
Oh yeah.
We
They used to have
had the
trucks that go
mosquito.
around and spray.
Yeah, these little trucks that used to drive up and down the neighborhood streets and spray the malathion and these big old clouds behind them just to kill the mosquitoes. And kids didn't go inside to get away from that stuff. I'm surprised we're still alive.
I was actually thinking about,
Asbestos in our ceilings. Holy shit, what we
Yeah,
went
we
through. So
were
your
different
generation could be
generation.
safe. Yeah.
I was thinking about this when somebody was talking to me about gender affirming care and like TRT and all of this other stuff. And I was like, you know who started this? I was like, this isn't a new invention. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the Nazis made this stuff.
Mhm.
They were trying to make people infertile. And that's where
Yeah.
they came up with this stuff. And now people are taking it voluntarily.
Yeah.
And pretending that there's no
Absolutely.
side effects.
Duh.
I was like,
What
it
do you
was
think they
created
brought
as
those
a Nazi.
scientists over here for?
Yeah, dude, that's so wild.
Holy moly.
That people
And
don't
me
realize
being
the
the
connection.
suspicious person always believed the conspiracies before I believed anybody else.
Yeah. No, it's wild. Like it almost seems like we don't come up with a lot of new things. We just try to regenerate old ideas. And
Well, look at what they're doing with the jab now. They're repurposing it into a flu shot. And then they're putting the ingredients that they have left over from making it, the mRNA, they're putting it in all the newer vaccines for the regular stuff kids get.
they
So
they just passed something in Illinois about vaccination. I don't know what you'd call it. Information about vaccinations and medicine. And basically anything that the state of Illinois deems to be misinformation or something like that, they can now penalize you for.
Yeah, I heard about that.
For doing. And I was like, do you realize what's happening? I was like, you guys are the same people that were giving us wrong information. And now you're trying to corner the market on wrong information. This is so wild. We're gonna tax you on being right.
We're living in a Monty Python episode. I swear to God,
Oh my goodness.
it's true. Oh, these people, they're so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's only getting worse.
And if you look at the trains in Japan and look at the transportation and then go look at the gadgets in the malls, the ice cream machines, the bread machines, the grocery stores. Why don't we have that here?
Because they have a culture that's better than ours.
No,
I would love to have all of that here.
I don't think that's
Well,
why.
we got people that don't know how to act. There's
Yeah,
a
that's true
very
too.
high respect of culture in Japan to where they have machines like that, things like that. You don't see a rampant influx of people breaking into these things and homeless crackheads living
That's
on the
true.
sidewalks in front
And
of these
Carnival
machines
Cruise
in
Line
Japan.
brawls.
I don't put up with
Yeah,
that
so
crap.
what you're making an argument for is less freedom, and because
It's not
monorail.
freedom, that's privilege.
Oh yes, no. But the enforcement of why it's able to be effective out there is because they can just take people off the street and throw them in jail if they're
That's true
trying to
too, for
disrupt this.
misbehaving.
I watched a lady try to hold up a train in Japan, and they
Oh,
don't
I
realize
saw
that
that video.
the
Yeah.
longer you hold something like that up, you're risking accidents because these trains are on a schedule and they can't stop them and like do all this other stuff, and they're flying at really high speeds,
Like
and so they just
200
throw
miles
your
an
ass in jail.
hour.
Yeah,
Did
they'll
you hear
just throw
about
your ass in
the
jail.
truck driver in Saudi Arabia?
I've been hearing way too
God,
much about
too
illegal
much
truck
about
drivers
truck
in the United
drivers, yeah.
States.
No,
God.
what was it, last year? This uppity black woman who is a truck driver, and she went to Saudi Arabia to work over there.
Oh, I know you talking about.
Oh, wasn't that something?
I know you talking
They
about.
kicked her ass out.
She could go over there and do what she wanted to do. She didn't
Yeah,
realize you're not in America,
I
dumbass.
know. It's like, have some manners. Oh my
There was
goodness. How
they,
embarrassing. How
they picked up
embarrassing.
somebody in the U.S. the other day, and I think it was a state trooper that pulled this guy over, and he's like talking to him at his window, and he's like, "So, where you headed?" And he is like, and he says something, and I don't remember
I
what
am
place
job.
he said. Yeah, it was very much that. And he's like, "All right, well, where are you coming from?" And he's like, "Indiana." And he's like, "Oh, okay, so you're from Indiana?" He goes, "New York." He goes,
Oh
"So you're from New York?"
Oh God.
And he got
no.
into this big loop of just naming places he's heard of before. and
Yeah, but they say it New York.
Dude,
I'm like,
I
how did
will.
you
Oh
guys
my
getting
God.
licensed? Who is just handing
I
out licenses to people?
I will.
Like, I
Hey,
remember how hard the CDL test was for me. Like,
you're preaching to the choir, dude. I think the most nerve-wracking, well, aside of the dangerous ones, but the simplest thing is I've had at least two guys, one of them probably Russian or something, Yugoslavian, I don't know. Another guy, definitely Middle Eastern, Indian, something. They didn't know how to get fuel, and they come over and ask me for help. You'll help me. I need fuel. I need fuel truck. I'm like, they cut you loose and didn't teach you how to get fuel. What,
Oh my
dude?
God.
Huh?
Are you
Hey,
a truck driver?
yes.
Ah, okay. So you probably see it firsthand.
15 years so far.
Oh my God. It is unbelievable. They're cracking down on it here in Florida. They're making them stop and they're checking the trucks and they're checking their licenses. We've
Yes.
had two really bad
Well, it was the
ones
one
down
idiot.
here.
The one
Yeah.
idiot that made the U-turn.
Yep. And we had another one too. Guy was, I don't know what he was doing, texting or sleeping. I don't know, but he just plowed into a bunch of cars.
Yeah, it shouldn't take incidents like that to have people take notice,
Right.
especially law enforcement. It was like, no, this should be day one. You should be checking these people out. But look, part of the
it's
problem
not
is
even. It's also
people
not even the
slipping through the
casual.
cracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, it's
Well,
not
they're
just
paying
the
for
these
casual.
these companies will they will operate under false pretenses, fake
Yep.
DOT numbers. A lot of places I go to are cracking down on that because they want your DOT number. Because guys are coming in with fake stuff, fake paperwork, and just take trailers and stolen product, stuff like that.
Yeah.
they've been cracking down on this as much as they can for the
They
past
need
at least
to.
10 years.
Well, the ones that
But
are taking over the United States that people are noticing is it's not just like, oh, somebody got into an accident. It's like, oh, we looked at the drive logs. He didn't even touch the brakes as he plowed through 12 people. Like,
Yeah, right.
it's fucked up. Like, it's not even like he
It
actually
really
sped up a
is.
little bit. Like,
And they're paid for the licensing. They don't take the test. Somebody takes it for them.
no, they have
yeah,
loopholes. Well, I'm not gonna call them
Yeah.
loopholes, but they got their little cracks
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
slip
It's
through.
like I said, I'm from
And
Miami. I saw it happen down there with the Cubans and the Haitians and trying to
they
get a job.
they I mean they're trying to crack down, I guess, to a good extent. I got pulled over in Wisconsin probably about a month and a half ago
Hmm.
by state patrol. And it's just like, oh, I didn't recognize your truck company. Da, 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 da. Never seen y'all operate out here. Mind you, my company's based out of Minnesota. We're always in Wisconsin. I didn't buy anything he was
He's just
saying.
testing you.
You saw dark skin and was just like, yeah, see, he might be one of them. Call himself doing a high level inspection, and he kicked a tire and touched my airline and checked my lights. That was it.
Well,
That's
can
not
you
a high
blame
level
him with
inspection.
everything that's going on? I mean,
Well, part of
don't you
that,
appreciate it?
well, actually, no, I don't appreciate it because he
Oh,
delayed me for 30 minutes. He saw I was
oh,
clearly
okay.
American. What he did was same thing a Tennessee trooper did to me. Saw a new truck.
Power
It's
trippers.
going to be in great condition. They have quotas. They have to be in DOT certified. They have to do so many inspections in a
Uh-huh.
time period. He saw a freebie with me, and it delays me, so I'm losing. I'm just not buying this
That's
crap
just
for
dirty
one
pool.
second.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
buying
just
this
dirty
crap for
pool.
1 second. Oh, I've never seen your company around here. Bullshit, bitch.
Yeah, right.
Bullshit. We're here constantly. Between Minnesota and Wisconsin, we're everywhere. I'm
Well,
not buying it.
there are videos of these guys at the rest stops changing their sign. They have like a magnetic sign overlaid on
Oh
the road.
yeah, those guys. Oh
well,
yeah.
also the test that they can perform is really simple. Usually, they can just have you like a card and have you read it.
Yeah,
Like
that's what they do.
it doesn't have to be in depth. If you have a driver's license and they can prove that you know that you comprehend what they're saying, most of the time they'll let you go.
Yeah, but those
You give
cops
them
were
red
power
flags.
tripping. Those cops
Yeah,
were power
that sounds like a
tripping.
power trip that you
That's
were
not
Yeah.
power
dealing with.
tripping. That's not power tripping. If you can't
No,
read
I'm saying
standard
the ones that
English,
you
you
were
can't
dealing with.
understand our road sign. Oh, that guy is
The
trying to
cop.
meet his
The
quota.
cop.
He's trying to meet his damn quota, whatever.
Well, that's just
I mean,
it. But by the time you open
I
your mouth and
do
say something, you can tell you're an American. Gee, Manetti Christmas.
I do get
Then
50 bucks out of it.
companies need to be able to write that off.
Yeah.
Especially at a time like this when people are getting checked more, most drivers are getting checked more, then they should be able to be like, hey, sorry, our driver had to go through these checkpoints, and once they did, this is why there was a delay on your package, whatever it was. That kind of stuff should be factored in, especially at times
Yeah.
like these.
Well, with all the tech we have, it should be entered into the computer, at least for however those 30 days he's driving this truck by that license plate. Just leave him alone.
Right. He was checked last week. Yeah, he was checked last week. Somebody pulled him over. Yeah,
Nope.
because they do the same thing with if you have an out headlight and they give you a warning, and they go, "Oh, okay, somebody already gave him a warning. We're giving him a ticket this time."
Yeah.
Like, especially if they don't see you improving. Like, if they give you something to fix, then they usually have to pull you over to make sure that you fixed it.
Yeah, but half
Nope.
an hour, this guy was just giving him a hard time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nope. I'll give you the greatest example: way stations. I can cross over. I can go through a way station. Let's say we're at the Kentucky border. I go through the way station, their last way station, and then 20 minutes up the road is Indiana's way station. Still got to go through that one. No
Worst thing
bypass.
about the
They don't
Kentucky
care.
border,
You could have
smells like
loaded.
cabbage.
You could have loaded between there and there. You could have had a flat tire, but then they just love us commercial trucks because it's big money, big trucks.
Yeah.
They love us
Toll money.
That's a pain in
wasting
the
our
ass.
time. It's a pain.
Don't they pay by axle for tolls and shit?
Depending on where you are.
well?
Depending on where you
You
are.
you drive the big
most
ones?
most places, yeah, do by the axle. Yeah, I drive 18 wheel.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he's got like a full cab in his, and
5
he's always
axles.
got he's
Ooh, a
got
little
nice
mobile
setup.
home. Those are cool. My
He's got a
dad
nice little
drove one
setup.
of those. My
Yeah,
biological dad.
I'm in a full size truck. Yeah, it's a nice company though. We only got like 6,000 drivers.
Is
So
it
it's
your
a
rig, and then you
it's a
just
small
drive for a
company.
company?
No, it's their truck. I'm company.
Oh, okay. Would you be
Yeah,
sad
yeah,
if you had to give up the one that you were driving and get a different one?
yeah. Depends on money.
Yeah.
They're
Really
expensive.
depends on money.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a
expensive.
brother that he's got 2 trucks working on a third one. He wants me to come drive for him, but I'd have to do flatbed and tarping and do some Canada stuff. But good money. I'm just debating about whether to make the move or
I
not.
have a question. You're out in the Midwest, right?
I'm all over.
Have
But
you
yeah,
ever been through those tunnels that go across country?
what do you mean?
I've seen these videos where these truck drivers have these underground tunnels, and he was saying it runs clear across the country, and they have more than one.
Yeah, that's absolute horseshit.
Is it?
So when we were talking about the technology that Japan and stuff like that, or China has and stuff right now with the train technology, I would say there's solid evidence that shows that our government has that technology, but I don't think it's
Oh,
for
I'm
public
sure.
use because when I was listening to what Phil Schneider was talking about before he went full conspiracy theory, he was just talking about drilling and the machines that he used when he was called in to build these underground bases and shit.
Mm,
And it was legit. Like he was just another nerd talking about the tools he used.
yeah.
And then it got into, all right, we got in a war with some aliens. We
He
dug into
lost his fingers. Yeah.
yeah. They crispy crittered his hand, and he took a ray gun shot to the chest or something,
No,
and was a Green Berets.
Yeah. I'll stick with Bill Cooper. Thank you. Anyway, it's about to get real, and I'm all for it.
I hope it does.
Me too. And I'm noticing that some people are affected negatively by the energy, and some I'm charged by it. Holy moly, I've got my gardens on their second turn, all 5 of them. I'm going to be eating good. And I'm up to 5 birds now, so we're good to go.
Young, you'd probably have a better live stream if you didn't spend your whole live stream spamming my chat. Like, I just feel like it would be so much easier for it. Like, I feel like you'd have a way better live stream if you didn't spend your whole time spamming my chat.
What chat is he
can't be-
spamming? I don't see it over here.
It's on
is.
it's
Oh.
on the StreamYard chat, and then it's also on the screen. I have the chat pulled up. All of those last messages coming in are all from him just making different accounts and spamming his name in my chat. The only people that can see it are over on Kick. Like he's wasting his time. I don't have anybody watching on Kick. He's just spamming my Kick chat.
Some people.
It's
They
so
just
weird.
don't have any. Are you sure it's not a bot? Some
it
people
very
don't
well
have
could be a
anything
bot.
better to do.
Why would you pay that much money for a bot to do this for you?
Well, it really changed his name. I'm live right now. What? Streaming somebody else's chat?
Right.
You're not
Just
live. You're
spamming my chat?
restreaming. Yeah, it's just pretty sad, man. Pretty
So
sad.
Oh
weird.
Lord.
Or if you're paying bots to do this, they're doing a bad job.
Yeah, they are.
Even the bots aren't looking right.
Those are the Chinese bots, the cheap stuff.
Right. Like I only paid $80 for this, and it's doing it to 90 streams right now.
Yeah, I'm a Russian bot. I got accused of being a Russian bot several times a few
Fair
years back, and then just recently. So yeah, I'm a Russian bot. I don't speak Russian, but okay.
With that being said, the stream is full of Russian misinformation and hoaxes. So be noted.
Who said that?
Herman put that as one of my banners a long time ago, and so now every time I look over and somebody says something about Russia, I usually throw my banner on that says
Oh,
this room is full of Russian misinformation and it's a hoax.
anything I would have to say would truly be misinformation. I do not speak Russian, but I like Vladimir.
You like
I think
Vladimir?
I think he's cool. He walks so
he
cool.
rides the bears with no shirt on.
I would like to see him ride a bear with no shirt on.
Next to POTUS on an eagle.
Would you arm wrestle Vladimir Putin if given the opportunity?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Fuck yeah.
No, I might shake his hand, but I wouldn't arm wrestle. I'd lose.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to beat him. Could you imagine actually beating him? Because I think I'd let him win.
He'd
be
probably
fair.
let me win.
I would let him win.
See, look, the old lady win.
I think it would end better for me if I just let the old man win. Nobody beats Vladimir. God,
Wait, whose soil are we on?
Was he the one that oh yeah, I guess that matters a little bit. But you might have to wait till Donald Trump's not in charge. I would say, gosh, oh man, I feel like Russia has ties to the United States, but they're not nearly as strong as some of our other political
They've
allies.
been ruined. They were our allies in the World War,
We just
and
keep
they've
them
been
close enough after
demonized
the
by
World War.
politicians just to create more wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a talking point at this time,
Mhm.
and just instill.
They
fear
don't
of
want
the
their
Cold War
people
that never
killed.
existed.
He doesn't want his people hurt any more than Trump wants us hurt. So
Do you feel the same way about the Ukraine leader? Do you think he cares if his people get hurt?
no,
No,
he's
it
proven
doesn't.
that. He's
I
proven
don't think
that.
I feel the same way about
Worse.
him. Isn't he the one
No.
that's got people getting snatched off the streets to go
Yep.
fight in the front lines?
Yep.
Give me money.
And just like it happened in Germany.
Well, how do we as United States citizens conflict that with when we have a draft?
What do you mean?
If you desert, say you get called to draft and you just flee to Canada like a lot of hippies did in the 60s.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do that much longer. We're about to have 56 states: Alberta, BC, Yukon, and
But what I'm saying
Manitoba.
is, so they're no longer. They also would have to snatch people off the front lines or say get out of the country, or you'd have to flee the country. Otherwise, you'd be jailed. I guess if you didn't.
Yeah,
fight
but
them.
you get jailed when you come back.
If
That's
True.
what happened to a lot of them. They got jailed.
Yeah,
They don't
No, I
stay
think a
away.
draft-
They always come home.
I was talking about this, but we talk about this a lot. I don't think a draft would work in the United States anymore, and I don't think people would fight for the country if asked.
We need to bring back the patriotism like it used to be. We need to bring back our OTC in the schools for the boys that are interested, because we do have young warriors who do find interest in that sort of thing. So let them
Still
do what they're good
exists.
at. Yeah. Well, we need more of it. We don't have much of it down here.
You can have it, but it doesn't mean that, you know.
Well, it
they're gonna
depends on what the
sign up
funding took
for it.
away.
But wouldn't you have to have more trust that you're going to war for the right reasons?
Yeah.
I think that's where the disconnect is with people fighting for the United
Mhm.
States. Is they think
That
they're
was
going
the
to war for
disconnect
wrong
with
reasons.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
That was a huge
Right.
disconnect with Vietnam. Who are
Or-
we fighting for?
Or
Yeah, why am I here?
are our veterans being taken care of after they come back?
No.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, I know. They were called
They were
baby boomers,
ostracized.
and they were ostracized from society, and
Mhm.
it just got worse and worse. And it's
And they're
just like,
still being treated
how
like
do you
shit.
convinced? It's gotten better, but not nearly as good as it should be.
It needs to be better and it needs to be faster.
It's because they're just trying to throw more money at the system. The whole
Mhm.
VA needs to be restructured.
Oh dear God. Yeah.
But that's a
I think we're going to
talking
see
we
a
must
lot of
have.
that in the coming years.
That's the thing. I don't think there's no. Okay, so let me ask you this honestly: do you think 4 years is enough for anybody to change things? Or
Look
do
at
you
how
think
much he got done in 9
perpetually?
months, and look at who his proteges are.
Well, look at
Yes,
how the
but
VA system is still screwed up.
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
We'll see.
I just think
Nothing
there's gonna
happens
be
overnight.
steps forward and steps back if we don't, because
Well, we're
the
not
way the
looking for
media,
overnight. Looking for since
Something,
forever.
right?
yeah.
And it
Well, and
is. It's getting better in increments, but it
that
needs
and
to go faster.
getting it to sustain is the hardest part. Like that to me is, how do we know the next person isn't just going to come in and reverse everything?
Well, don't
Like there's
forget
very few things.
don't forget in his first term, Trump told vets that he was giving them special dispensation that if they couldn't get in at the VA and get the health care they needed, that they could go to a private doctor and the government would cover it.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
something that the mainstream media talks very little about.
They said the same thing fucking with Obamacare, and that you could pick your provider and
Yeah, but the only
Yeah.
difference is we're seeing a difference.
the
We're
only
seeing a
difference is
difference.
that it's another false promise, and I don't think the VA is getting nearly enough done for the amount of money that they're taking.
No, I agree,
They're
but they
turning
need an
away.
overhaul there too.
Well, it's because they're treating it like they treat homeless, and what they're doing is, if you have an alcohol problem, if you have a drug problem or something like that, they won't even let you go into the VA. Like they just reject you, and it's just like, well,
they do.
why do you think they have a fucking problem? Maybe it's because you sent their ass over war and did a bunch of fucking crazy shit working for you.
Yeah,
and
right.
all of a sudden they came back with PTSD. Now that we know what PTSD is. And I'm not talking about somebody that got offended at the grocery store because they were misgendered. I'm talking
No,
about
this is serious.
people that actually
Yeah.
saw war. Like,
Yeah. This is serious.
no, I think
You
the term
can't-
PTSD and then
you have to. You
explaining that
might have.
people's anxiety today is so different.
Yeah, you might have to shoot another soldier, but you never get over the fact that you killed somebody.
No, and we still have mandatory stuff when it comes to officers on duty. Like even if they shoot somebody in the United States,
They get psychological
still have
help.
they still have to take a period of time off. And yeah, these are all mandatory things usually.
Yep.
You'd think, but
But these kids came back after seeing horror after horror, and we're talking about 17-year-old kids, 18-year-old kids. You know, it was, and before that was Korea. That's the one my cousin got the Purple Heart for. So it was bad over in Asia for a long, long time.
yeah.
I have to refill my Gatorade.
Oh, you're good. No, it's strange how we're watching this stuff crumble in front of us. I think God, and if you get it, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but watch the interview between Steven Crowder and Nick Fuentes, because Nick actually brings up my favorite part about the Second Amendment, and he's kind of, he doesn't classify himself as a libertarian. He calls himself a nationalist, and he does it proudly, because I don't think nationalism is a bad thing. I think you should want your nation to do good, and you want your nation to be the best in the world and to be able to help other people. But yeah, I think it's insane that we've now hijacked the term nationalism too, as being a bad thing. I think it's just like if you have a favorite football team or anything else. It's like, of course you want your favorite team to win. Why wouldn't you?
I think what he's doing is he's not going to do it completely, but I do agree that we need to do it, because I see all the signs. He's going to make us an isolationist country for a little while. Doesn't make us communist, doesn't make us socialist. What it does is it just cuts down on the amount of people coming in.
I don't think he's isolating the country enough. That's where
I think he's doing it slowly.
I think he needs to cut off the foreign ties instead of worrying about individual.
He's doing that. He's doing that. You should hear the news on NATO. You should hear the news on NATO.
I think we need to deport more people. I don't have a problem with that. I don't really think the birther thing, because it's been perpetuated for so long. There was a great example of somebody that we picked up during the Iraq War, had them fight for the country, and now we're trying to deport them. It's just like, okay, we pulled them. You can't send them back to Iraq after they deserted their country and fought against their country. We can't deport
I'm pretty
them
sure
back to Iraq.
there's always been a special dispensation for people that the military cover. There always
Well,
has been that.
There's been
But
court cases that are being happening right now. With
well, what
people that
happened
came from the Middle
was they
East
did
that-
these last 2 attacks with the Afghanis. Those were people that they brought over with special dispensation. The only difference was it wasn't the military, it was the CIA.
Yeah, but it's
So
still
that's going
the
to
United States
distinguish
government.
the two. The guy from Iraq might get to stay. I mean, look, the harassment that I expected because of our last name, we're not getting it.
Yeah.
They're making a very good distinction. And that goes back to the real ID because I have it on my driver's license.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't matter. You'll get through the process a lot faster. Just have proof of something. Like it's
Yeah.
not hard to have proof of something. That's
Oh
why I
God,
said
that woman.
the tests that they're giving drivers are very vague until you give them red flags to make a deeper search.
You know,
Like-
like I said before, I think we've come full circle. Like I've said before, our country is at a crisis right now. All that woman had to do, and she's one of those white suburban Karens, you know. She was in Scrubs, so I'm pretty sure she's a nurse or works as an esthetician somewhere. But the whole point is, just show them your goddamn license. What is with women today? What the fuck is with women today? I'm sorry, but I just can't get over it.
I think it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of because, and I've talked to you about this when it just comes to empathy and almost like sensing things. I think
They're all
women have a
NPCs.
higher. I think women have a higher intuition, and I feel like
Mhm.
a lot of the time they think they're doing the right thing. It's almost like I bet you I bet if you look this up statistically, I bet you women are more likely to enable somebody than males are.
Oh,
If it didn't-
absolutely, and I agree. But what they've done is they have brainwashed. This is the MK Ultra on the national scale. They have brainwashed these women and used it against us. You know, maybe they may be, because they're women, they might have a better empathy bone than most men, but they're not empaths. Because a true empath would know the difference.
Because in Illinois, Gonzo, when it comes to driving, like it's the same. Okay, stop and frisk is a great example of this. Some places stop and frisk is legal. I think they tried to get rid of it in New York. I think there was a big push on it with the George Floyd stuff. But at a certain point, you can be checked out for something, and it's not a crime for somebody going, "Oh, you fit the description of this." That's not a crime at all for them to check your papers. But I do think it's unconstitutional, and this is why I say people need to change it in the eyes of how they're describing it. This is what I was talking about. It's this driving loophole that we talked about in Illinois. Is do people have the right to pull you over for no reason because of suspicion of something? Technically, in Illinois, they do.
They do in Florida too.
Yeah, and it just depends on the place. If they have stop and frisk, they also have the ability to do that. So
When they
we
got
need
rid of
to-
stop and frisk, that's when the crime rate went up. That's when the drug rate went up.
people have already given away their rights in this sense, guys. So everybody
Mhm.
in Illinois has if you drive in Illinois, anybody can pull you over for any reason and ask you for your ID and insurance.
Any cop,
Anybody
any
can.
law enforcement.
Yes. Gets even
But-
fishier when you start getting into citizens arrest bullshit.
Yeah, we have Sheriff Ivy down here.
Malicious.
Both he and Grady Judd went on TV, and they have it on YouTube. And Ivy specifically said, this was when the people were blocking roads and, gluing their hands to the asphalt. He said, run them down. He said it's called unlawful detention. They don't have the right to do that to you. He said if they're across the road, they have no business being there. He says keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. I've watched what's it called? People impede traffic when it comes to like ambulances.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let an ambulance go by. You don't even
Yeah.
know what the fuck they're doing. They could have an emergency. They might not. But
Well, look at the one where they were rescuing the girls from that hotel, and they were trying to stop them.
yeah. Just, I don't know.
Holy
I
shit,
think
these
we have
people are
to.
stupid. Oh my
Gonzo, this
God, they're so
Gonzo, this comes down
stupid.
to a local level and enforcing laws the proper way. This is just what I was talking about with Governor Pritzker talking about censoring speech against medical misinformation. Like this is something that they're passing right in front of us, and people are just agreeing to this shit. And this is where your freedoms and your rights are getting taken away, is because people are agreeing to it with the illusion of safety, because they think it's safer to not be told things they don't want to hear, or to things that might not be true until it's 100% proven. They don't want to even discuss it.
And then they don't even want to believe the proof when it's presented to them because it doesn't match what they want to believe. It's called wishful thinking. And if you look at a lot of these people, the millennials and the Gen Zs, they live on it, especially the millennials, they live on wishful thinking. I mean, you hear it all the time. They get it. Oh my God, Donald Trump is sick. He's got a brain aneurysm, or he's got a brain tumor. They just had an MRI. And it's like, nothing's wrong with him.
Yeah, that's what Canadian put in the chat earlier. He goes, "Did you see that Donald Trump fell asleep in some kind of a meeting or something like that?" And I
Yeah,
was like,
bullshit.
okay. But
So
I don't
they
know,
do
man. The guy's up
this.
till 3 in the fucking morning all the time. I don't really care if he took a nap at some point. I'm glad I see him a lot more than I saw the last sleeping president.
Yeah,
Like,
right. He
we're
was
gonna
asleep
pretend.
all the time.
Oh,
No,
you
I
mean
mean,
the guy that fell asleep at the memorial service for fallen soldier? Oh, that guy?
yeah,
He falls asleep
Biden.
going upstairs. He falls asleep
Guy
on
that
bicycles.
He
falls asleep
falls
while he's talking
upstairs.
into the microphone?
What are we even talking about?
The guy that likes to sniff children?
Yes.
Ugh.
As opposed to the guy
He
that
is
calls his
disgusting.
daughter sexy. I mean, there's a balance you got to take, apparently. It's not hyperbole.
I'm sorry. I don't see anything wrong with him saying his daughter is sexy or beautiful.
Ooh, ooh,
Sexy
ooh,
and
ooh.
beautiful
I
are
want
different words
this
to
one.
me.
I
That
want this one.
doesn't
I
make
want
him a
this one.
pedophile.
Go ahead.
Why show your ID if you didn't break the law? Well, because in certain municipalities, bitch, if you are asked to identify yourself by law, covered by the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution, you have to ID.
Yep.
The officer wants to know who the hell they're talking to.
So?
Hey, you can demand a supervisor all you want. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not calling my supervisor out here if I don't know who you are. I'm not
Why
bringing
can't
him
we
out to an
just
unknown
smile at the?
situation.
Why can't we
Sure,
just
Gonzo,
smile
we
at
can
the
get into
nice,
cop
handsome
logistics all
officer?
day, all right? Used to be one. Well, not used
Yeah,
to
what
be a
happened to
cop,
the
but
days
definitely
when
worked in
the
law
women were
enforcement.
attracted to a man in uniform? What
I
happened?
still am. I mean, if a good looking cop stopped me, I'd be happy to stop showing my ID and smile big.
Hey, they're sweet still.
Well, I live in the South.
I got chills. God, how's the song go in Greece?
I got you. I was finishing it.
I'll be right back. My cats need to be fed.
But no, regardless, I think there's certain words that we shouldn't use with our kids, and especially at a time when people in the United States government are trying to recognize things like maps and shit like that. I think speech is very important. I think we should pick and choose our words wisely. There's nothing wrong with calling your daughter gorgeous or beautiful or something like that. But when you start pushing into words like hot or sexy, yeah, then I think we're getting into dangerous territory when we're talking about our own children. This is not as good of speech for me.
I'm trying to remember the exact thing that he said, but he definitely did not say, "I want to fuck my daughter," as CNN
No, he didn't
would
say
lead you
that.
to believe.
And I never claimed. And I never claimed he said that. I never claimed.
No,
he
no,
said
no.
that,
I'm not
nor would
saying
I.
you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying like the people, those people, the same ones that say, "Oh, he told people to inject bleach into their veins to fight COVID."
Yeah,
It was like,
like that's a
he
lie.
never
Yeah,
said that.
like
But
that
that's
part's a
what they
lie.
do.
He didn't say that. Yeah.
You hate this man for so much for no legitimate reason. I mean, geez, he's just look. I wasn't a fan when he first ran. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Hillary either, though. I sat that one out because I didn't like any of my options. but I watched my wallet get fatter. I watched the old um,
Actually,
2005 Mack truck I was driving turn into a 2012 Freightliner Cascadia, brand new
so
truck that I didn't have to share. I watched
sick. I
that.
looked up
I
the
watched the
actual quote.
economy get better.
I looked up the actual quote, and it's actually worse than sexy or hot.
She's
So
fuckable. She's very fuckable. Very fuckable.
Donald Trump to Howard Stern. It's okay to call my daughter a piece of ass.
That's fine.
That was you're okay with a dad calling his daughter a piece of ass?
She's a grown woman. She's independent. She's doing her own damn thing. If people are saying that to him about her, then fine. Yeah, that's like an exception of the reality of that. Okay, people want to fuck my daughter. Okay, fine. She's a piece of ass. Okay, I get it. Fine. He never directly said, I want to fuck my daughter, as the fucking media construes it. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no,
And then the
I think
whole
there's certain. I think we need to pick and choose our words wisely. Like you can tell when someone's being hyperbole. I would say it's just as crazy
that
for somebody to be offended that somebody said this on Howard Stern. It was just the person that said it. Because I think it's very
first off,
common speech for Howard Stern.
yeah, exactly. First off, the show he was on. Yeah. Second off,
How
this
many
guy's
how
not
many
a
dick well,
politician.
how many people did fucking Howard Stern have to fucking pay off to not get him canceled? Like, think
No.
about the interviews he does. He does interviews with like Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton and talks about DEI stuff. And he was the guy that was having like girls catch hot dogs in their mouth to win free tits. Like
Yes,
what?
throwing baloney at their asses. I'm just like, okay.
And paying mentally disabled people to come on his show and fight. Pretty sure he had a serial killer call in one time. Like Howard Stern is a shit person. And then he gets all of these
Yes.
crazy interviews with like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, and he never got canceled. Same with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel used to use blackface all the time when he's pretending to be Karl Malone.
Oh,
And,
God.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't know. I think it's weird the people that got canceled and the people that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have a way worse track record than others. And it's
Same
just
with
like whose dick
businesses.
yeah, it's like whose dick did you have to start to get into this position? Because clearly this isn't normal. This is normal behavior.
Yeah, it was obvious, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. And anybody that tells me that Howard Stern is a changed person and that he feels bad about his past, I'm like, no, he's not a changed person. He's the same dirtbag that you guys fucking were embracing. You guys just liked him because he pushed the envelope at the time.
Yeah.
And he did. Don't get me wrong. He's
Oh
groundbreaking
yeah,
in
him and
radio
Neil
to push the
Rogers.
envelope.
We had
Yeah.
him and Neil Rogers.
But I never thought Fart Man was a good fucking gimmick. Like,
No,
I don't even think
it's
the guy. I don't even
juvenile.
think the guy's funny.
It's juvenile. I never
Yeah.
liked him.
But yeah, no, I liked the fact that he would go on a Christian radio show and push the envelope. Like that's funny to me. And I think comedy always does that. But I think there was a point where he was like, "No, I'm better than these other people, and I'm more important than these other people, regardless of the bad things I did that are the same as these other people."
Yeah, this is
And-
why I preferred listening to Neil Rogers. At least he didn't insult people's intelligence.
Yeah. I never got into Neil Rogers. I had
He
to
was
go back
funny.
and listen to it.
He was funny. We had
feel like all the-
we had blue hairs. We had a whole season of blue hairs in Florida for years. And these are the old ladies that drive in the far left lane and do 45 on the turnpike. And they have their seatbelt hanging out the door, banging on the pavement all the way. And their head is barely above the steering wheel. These are the blue hairs.
These are just old lady rebels or what?
No, it's just the ladies. Back then, the ladies used to get this lavender or blue pastel dye in their hair when they had gray hair. And they'd all come out of the beauty parlor with this lavender hair or blue hair. And they'd drive these big cars like Cadillacs and Impalas. And they could barely see above the steering wheel, you know, and it was funny because they'd be driving over in the fast lane when they should be all the way over in the right lane.
Sorry for anybody that didn't see it. I'm going to try to do it now. I didn't pin my comment on my actual channel, and it was doing other stuff, and I think I finally got it figured out now.
Oh, one of my cats is stuck. I'll be right back.
No,
Oh, it did work. All right, cool.
stuck.
Your cat got stuck. How does that work?
Yeah.
Riddle me this, Batman. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's just been such a weird, I don't know, dynamic of things that we're getting from people, and people are pretending that none of this is strange. And it's just like, yeah, all of this is strange, and we're all seeing how strange it is. I don't know how. No, I don't understand how people are missing it, and it seems like everybody's just asleep while it's all happening.
Turning that blind eye, and exactly what you just said there. Sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess is it like a willful ignorance where it's like, oh, they don't want to know the truth because the truth hurts, and that would involve actually thinking about what you're doing.
If I were to put it in a reference of something, I would apply it to the how do you say the Disney Star Wars shows that
Just going with their own, yeah. I know
Star
what you're saying.
Wars fans that just love Star Wars no matter what it is because they're used to a certain status. I don't even want to say status quo. They're just used to, oh, it's Star Wars. As long as I see this and that, it's great. But not looking deeper beyond the curtain that's being shielded above your eyes. And it's just like, no, you need to stop and look at this for a second and actually analyze it. I'm like, no, it's the thing I like and the thing I'm familiar with. They said the key words I needed to hear, so I like it. Like, no, you're just blindly, you're asleep. It's just like you're hearing this shit subliminally. But, oh yes, it's good. Yes, this is
Sick.
good. This is good.
I wanted to do something with you. I was thinking about you the other day. You do movie reviews and stuff like that on your channel, right?
Yeah, I need to get
have
back
you-
to actually doing it. Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to do a big one with you. Have you been following It's Welcome to Derry?
No.
No.
I didn't find any interest in it. I tried that remake of It Chapter 1, whatever. The remake. I tried watching that and I just couldn't get into it because I'm a fan of the original with Tim Curry.
So, okay, so this actually brings it back to the Stephen King books and has a lot more lore to it. And what the new It Derry season is doing. So they're only on season 1, but what it's doing is it's the events that it's like a prequel. It's the events that led up to that first to the Tim Curry event. And this is how Pennywise kind of came to be. And then the next season is going to be the cycle before that, the previous 37 years before he went back down into hiding again, and then so on and so forth. And they're going to bring it back to like even in the books in the early 1900s was like the first big attack that there was with the It entity. There was an explosion at the ironworks factory. They were having an Easter egg hunt, and like 150 people died, and like 110 of them were children. And they're going to start like tying in the actual Stephen King lore to it, and it's almost set up like a prequel. But if you ever got interested in watching that, I have something where you can watch all of those episodes and catch up. But it actually is really deep. If you like even the Tim Curry one, it's actually pretty good because I think Skarsgård actually tries to do a little bit closer to a Tim Curry impression. It's actually really deep. I kind of like it a lot.
Tim Curry was a good actor.
Oh yeah, great
Yeah,
actor.
I think
It's a shame what's happened to him.
Of the It Chapter 1 was when he had the girl down there in the hell cave, whatever, and he does it he does the dance where he's
Yeah.
like keeping his hands in front of him and kicking his legs off to the side, and I was just like, okay, that's a little demonic. Um, that was probably the only thing I liked about that movie.
So the peak of
But
this season right now is there was also this incident that happened with so spoilers for anybody that hasn't caught, but this is all stuff that happened in the book. So basically there's the black club spot, which is where they had a bunch of black military people that wanted to start a club because at the time everybody was kind of racist. They kind of wanted a place to just chill and be themselves. And then it kind of fucks up the town and gets them all like racially divided and doing this shit. And they go and like burn down this building with all these black people in it. They tie in what's it called? The Green Mile and Shawshank and the people that end up in Shawshank. The black guy from The Shining, the bald guy, he's one of the military officers that's hanging out at the place. So you get the guy that makes it into these other movies. They tie in a bunch of other movies that are all tied to Stephen King, and
All these Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, it's done very well when it comes to the lore of it. And because we were just talking about deep diving and stuff like that. And so what it is that dance that you were just talking about actually came from this guy named Robert Gray. Robert Gray was a circus performer and he had a daughter, and he was the one that came up with Pennywise. And at some point, this it entity either made like a deal with Robert Gray or took over his persona as Pennywise. And he had a daughter, and this daughter has been luring kids to Pennywise, the it entity, in order to get to be able to see her dad or what she thinks is her dad. It's not really her dad anymore. We all know, like in the series of events, whatever she's talking to is like some almost like not H.G. Wells. Can't think of the other author, but it's like something from outer space that came down to this planet before humans were even here. It's very esoteric
Orson
alien.
Welles?
What's that?
Orson Welles?
No, the racist guy.
Kubrick?
I can't think of it. And he does a bunch of Cthulhu and shit like that.
Oh, ooh. Oh, why can't I remember his name?
You know what I'm talking about, though? Yeah, that guy,
God,
the cosmic horror type stuff.
yeah.
I can't think of those, but yeah, Cthulhu is his big creation that everybody talks about still today. But I can't remember that author's name, and it's bugging the fuck out of me now.
Is he an artist?
Yeah, he's one of the biggest writers of all time.
Oh,
He's one of the biggest science
Last
fiction writers.
name, I think.
And he's responsible basically for cosmic horror.
there was a lot of them back in the 70s. Michael Moorcock was one of them.
Now I'll look it up. Cosmic. Cthulhu?
How'd Edgar Rice Burroughs?
H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lovecraft.
So it's
Oh
basically
man, he wrote some good stories.
Yeah, it is basically a Lovecraftian entity. He was there's also the cosmic tortoise, who is like the counter to him, and the it entity is actually it's actually the deadlights that they talk about in the Tim Curry one. That's what the actual entity is, and he just takes the form of things that people are scared of in order to season the meat. And this is very like MK Ultra type thought process, because
they tell you through movies.
Yeah, that's how they flavor the children that that this entity is harvesting, and he gets their whatever excited, and that's what seasons his meat. I think it's very much a pineal gland type.
Yeah, I do too.
It's very
you know,
much,
I used to really get into horror movies and thrillers and things like that, and then I saw The Exorcist in the theater when it was new, and I had read the book beforehand. Holy moly, that movie I haven't seen. I don't see Saw. I don't see It. I don't see any of the Stephen King movies. Maybe Christine or the more benign ones, but I can't do those. Not since The Exorcist.
Just because they're just too creepy. They tie into it.
It was just, it was really wild that when we were watching The Exorcist, I was pregnant. So my emotions were on high and it really scared the living daylights out of me. So I couldn't handle it or Saw or, there are some Stephen King I can handle, like the miniseries. What was that? Where they're flying on this plane.
Oh, V.
The Langoliers.
I was thinking about V, the aliens that came down to.
Oh, V, that was a series back in the
Yeah.
70s. I liked that, and I liked Battlestar Galactica, but I can't do the bloody stuff. I can't do the really bad horror.
I love horror movies. I just
No,
watch
I used
comedies.
to, but
It
they
was
They're
changed.
just comedies.
No,
Just watching stupid people die in the dumbest ways. I blame Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah, I
Part
don't watch
4
I
specifically.
don't watch those. It's like they're so stupid.
Comedy.
I saw the one where it was a comedy troupe. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Hello? Is there anybody there? You're dead. It's just,
Yeah, those I
just-
could handle. There was one where I saw a trailer where they all ran into a shed that was open on both ends and a bunch of stuff hanging in it, and they're just crouching down going, they won't find us in here.
Oh, there was a
Oh,
TV
God.
commercial. Why don't we just jump in a perfectly running car? Like, no,
Yeah,
let's
there
go
you
to
go.
the
That was
shed
a TV
with all the-
commercial. That was funny.
I prefer every teenager that's having sex getting like tripping in the woods or getting murdered while they're having sex, or like those are always my favorite.
One of my
There's
mom's
always that.
friends.
My
One of my mom's friends had the perfect solution for the problems we face today: is sterilize everybody at birth and then make them take parenting classes before you undo it.
Take parenting classes before you
not how
undo
that
it. I don't
works,
think that's
Before
how
you-
sterilization works.
That's
Well, you
not
know,
how
I don't
that
think it's
works.
necessarily reversible like that.
But
But modern science would want you to think that.
Yeah, tubal ligation can be reversed.
my favorite horror movie is The Cabin in the Woods, because it is self-aware. They're making fun of the tropes, but at the same time, it is an actual horror movie where all this stuff is actually happening. The consequences are real, but they're making fun of everything. There's a gambling ring going on behind this. I love that movie. Chris
I like
Hemsworth's
psychological thrillers.
breakout
I
role,
like
I think.
psychological thrillers and action movies.
Oh, I'm a sci-fi junkie.
But I like sci-fi. I'm a big sci-fi junkie, but I don't like the horror.
Yeah,
I've seen every Star Trek that was ever made, every Battlestar Galactica. Oh,
I can't
God.
do the old Battlestar Galactica. I can't.
You can't do the old one once the new one comes along. It's just different.
It's the pyramids on their heads and
Yeah.
watching them fly around in big ships.
Oh, Babylon 5 was another one. That didn't last long. But the one I liked was the Outer Space Cowboy. What was the name of that?
Buckaroo.
No, not Buckaroo Banzai.
Not Buckaroo.
It was more recent.
Flash. Oh, Theater of the Universe.
No,
Space Cowboys. Space Cowboys.
it was a series they had for a season or
Firefly?
two. That's
Firefly.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Firefly's
a good
the
one.
highest ranked sci-fi series probably of all time.
Yeah, I like that. And it ended after such a short while. They never continued.
One season.
Well, they gave us the movie, Serenity, and just boop, poof. And there was so much fan outrage of like, hey,
I know.
give us
I
more.
know. They did the same thing with there was one on Netflix. That Netflix is notorious for that.
Yeah, get you teased into something and like
Well,
it,
you
and then
watch
all of a sudden
something
it's
that's
gone.
got like 5 seasons to it, and then they leave you on a cliffhanger and never come back.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Stargate Universe.
Yeah, that's why I don't use Netflix. I got disappointed too many times. Carbon 6 was one of them.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing Carbon 6 as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a few good sci-fi series that just had horrible endings.
I don't like to be left hanging like that. Give me a good ending or don't end it at all. Keep it going.
Well, I feel like that nobody's ever satisfied with how it ends, even if they give an ending.
Well, give an ending.
Well, or is
There
it
were
fun?
3 of them, 3 different shows that I really got into, especially one with my sister. And they never finished it. And she and I are still speculating to this day what could have possibly happened.
Or is it fun to leave them open-ended where another person could come in and work on this work? Because now with things like fan fiction and stuff like that, I think it opens up the
No,
potential for other people to do things. I mean, I
no, I
know
got things to do. I
visually,
need closure. I got shit to do. I need closure, and I'm not going to live that much longer. So give me the ending.
right?
I think Breaking Bad had a good ending.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad. By then, I was off
Oh,
television.
Wasn't it based on a real story, so it didn't even end like yet?
what, Breaking Bad?
Yeah, wasn't it
Yeah,
based
I
on a
heard
real
the
movie?
same thing. It
I
was based
know
on something true.
nothing about that. I've never heard that.
I
It
just don't
may
like the fact that sometimes they'll
be.
take a real based story that's on something else, and then they'll just evolve it into something that didn't happen. I'm watching the John Wayne Gacy stuff. Oh, back to that it thing. The Robert Gray name. I guess that had to do with some serial killer actually took that name, a real life serial killer. And then there's also comparisons with the It Clown to John Wayne Gacy and other
Yeah.
stuff. And so they were trying to tie it into real life things to make it a little bit creepier.
Well, they get their ideas from real life things and then they use it to send a message to us. I wonder
Mm.
what what's really wild is you can discover your trigger, and it's usually a Disney movie for a lot of us.
You're gonna have to elaborate a little bit more on that.
Disney
Monsters Inc.
programmed us. Disney programmed us as children. I'm a
What?
child of the 60s, so Disney was a real big thing then, and Cinderella and all these movies. And I've been paying attention and noticed how a lot of us grew up to kind of emulate the thing that we liked as a child in Disney. And there were certain movies that kind of programmed into your brain. And I recently discovered mine, and it was mind blowing.
Do you know how they ended Toy Story, Stick?
Hmm.
What do you
They-
mean,
they
part
basically-
4?
Yeah. Do you remember what happened?
Where they turned Woody into a dirty, filthy traitor that abandoned his friends, that made him who he was, and just have him goes off with what's her name, Little Bo Peep, who should not be moving the way she does because she never did, because she was a chromatic lamp. They should have left that alone at part 3. And the
Yeah, well, you
villain
see what they're
wins.
doing, don't
The
you?
villain wins.
You
they
see what
left-
they're doing.
No,
don't you?
that's sick. That wasn't the key part of it. The key part of it, though, is they compared it to the Holocaust. They compared it to the people getting thrown in the ovens at the end of it.
No, that was part 3.
Not only did the villains win, but they were thrown into the ovens.
That was part 3. I'm talking about part 4.
I must stop
There's-
watching after
but
that.
wait,
Where he,
there's
he
more.
abandons everybody that he was the leader of just to run off with Bo Peep.
That sounds about right, though. Very Tom Hanks of him.
And they made Buzz an idiot. I was just like,
Well, it's
what
because-
is going on
because-
here? Jesse
because
didn't get
Tim
to
Allen-
do much.
Tim
Okay,
Allen was speaking out too much.
What message do you think they're sending the children through all that?
Abandon all your faith and everything you believed in to pursue something new that makes absolutely no sense, because we own you. We're Disney. Da 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 da. It's just Disney is sickening me. Look here, I'm gonna say this right quick. Disney had the perfect formula.
Yep.
Take your cartoon movies, make them live action. You have the script, you have the screenplay, you have everything you need. All you got to do is just turn it live action. But they was like, hey, let's take it one step further. Let's make it whoa.
Oh, but we had to count it.
And
We had very smart people that came out and countered that, like who was it? Mel Blanc, Bugs Bunny.
that was before the days of that.
I was gonna
I
say
mean,
no. That
that taught
they even
Bugs
started
Bunny
using,
taught us to be clever. Bugs Bunny taught us to take care of ourselves.
and then he was pro war and wanted us to help kill the Japs.
Yeah,
And
right.
no, it all gets
Donald
hijacked.
Duck was a Nazi.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Have you ever
Oh,
seen that
God.
meme with him with the one of, I think it's either Donald Duck or Scrooge, somebody sitting on the doctor's table, and if you read the eye chart behind him, it's about the Illuminati,
Oh my God.
jeez.
because people
Sounds about
don't
right.
often look in the background.
Yeah,
Those are some
right.
of my favorite things. What was it? Cleopatra, the movie with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton.
Oh, you went
If
back.
you look in one of the scenes where everything is gold and she's dressed in gold and they're in the foreground, and between them in the background there's a little table, and on that table is a pack of Marlboros and an ashtray. But you have to catch the original movie, not the one that they cut up for television and ads, because it's in there. You've also got a shot of
You're coming
Clint
from
Eastwood in The Good,
you're
the
coming
Bad,
from
and
a
the Ugly.
lifetime though. You're coming from a lifetime though when 9 out of 10 doctors recommended cigarettes for
Yes.
stress.
They did
Like
ads on TV with them.
Hell,
you could smoke on airplanes
It was
in your
Camels.
time.
Yeah,
You could
we
smoke
in
on
smoked on
airplanes.
airplanes.
in
So weird.
Troy with Brad Pitt, there's a scene of an airplane flying overhead.
Oh
Not
yeah, there's
just
some funny.
Troy, but in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, when they're doing a shot of Clint Eastwood from below and looking up at his face, there's a jet going in the back.
Oh, that's funny.
So Peter Sellers did a movie called The Party. And in the beginning of The Party, he makes fun of these goofs that happen in films, because he's supposed to be an actor within the show, within the movie. And they're shooting at a time before tech existed, and he's wearing a Rolex or something.
Yeah.
So
They're even doing this stuff
Um,
in Game of Thrones now. Like they have like a Starbucks cup on the table or something like that in the middle of fucking, this is like
if I'm
pre-medieval times.
yeah, but you really have to catch the originals before they get cut up.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Because
there's
like
a
with Cleopatra and with Clint Eastwood, now they've cut those scenes out.
I think there's
Oh,
a
I bet.
scene in Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, somebody wearing a
Yeah, there was some
wristwatch.
goofs in Ben-Hur, and also in the one with was it Moses with Charlton
Ooh, you might
Heston?
be right. Yeah, Charlton Heston again.
Oh, are you talking about the one with the flood
Oh, I
scene?
think of
Are you talking
Huh?
about the one with the flood scene?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there was one where they actually killed some people doing this flood scene, and they actually had to cut parts of the flood scene out because people actually died doing it. And yeah, they like poured hundreds and thousands of gallons of water into a room or into a stage or something,
Just to
and they
get the
like flooded them.
shot.
Yeah,
People got
there's
hurt.
actually there's some good old what's his name, Sean Connery movies. There's one where he actually like slaps this girl in the film because they wanted to get a real reaction. And so
Mhm.
there's like a scene where they show this on Joe Rogan every once in a while. Or Joe Rogan will show it to his guests where Sean Connery is just slapping this girl in real life. And she's like crying, like really crying. And I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of fucked up. Like the
I
the
might
way
have
that they
cried,
used
but
to.
I'd have heard it back.
I
I
mean,
think
I
I know
wouldn't
the
let Sean
scene you're
Connery.
talking about because I don't think they told her he was gonna do that.
She
No,
wasn't
They
trained for those
wanted
sort
that
of
no,
raw
things.
reaction.
yeah.
Holy shit. I had a
No,
boss. I had a
just like
boss
dropping
threaten me
Hans
one
Gruber
time.
off the Nakatomi Plaza.
I had a boss threaten to slap me one time. I told him, try it.
This will not end well for you, sir.
No, I just looked at him and said, go right ahead. Go right ahead. He didn't know.
Well, when they drop When they dropped Hans, it was like, all right, we're gonna drop you on 3. 1, 2, drop. He was like, you ready? And it was like, all right, 1, drop. And it just
Well, he was out of shape and I wasn't, and I had come fresh out of competing, and he didn't know that. So
Oh yeah, you were in Taekwondo or something at the time, weren't
I
you?
have a black belt in Taekwondo, and I was much younger then, a little more
Yeah.
rebellious.
No thanks. I don't want any head kicks from Mudrabbit.
And it wasn't even the Castellanos when I worked there. This was somebody else when I worked shortly for the Solomon Corporation for 6 months.
Why does that corporation sound familiar? What's the Solomon Corporation?
The one that I worked for, he owned at the time, he owned 6 Kentucky Fried Chickens in Broward County, a franchise. And
Okay.
he owned some Burger Kings somewhere up north Broward, or maybe in West Palm. I don't know. He owned some Burger Kings. And he was, because of the job I had, I saw all the paperwork. He was lobbying some politician in Florida to be able to build in the dry Tortugas. Nobody's allowed to build in the dry Tortugas. That's protected land. There's too many animals out there that are endangered. So nobody's allowed to to build in the dry Tortugas. And he was trying to. This was like an inch and a half thick, this thing that he was submitting to the legislature, just to try to get a foothold in it. But that's what they do.
Wow.
They buy these pieces of land in places you're not allowed to buy. Look at the Renaissance on Hollywood Beach down there in Broward County. That whole area was a protected land. They had sea oats, and we used to go out there and fly kites, and there were signs everywhere and a security guard. You got ticketed if you walked into the sea oats, the whole 9 yards. And then one day we went out there and the sea oats were gone, and they're building high rises.
There's a bunch of protected land in Florida.
Yeah,
Especially
but
for religious purposes.
They built two high rises right on a place we weren't even allowed to walk on.
What year did we lose Clearwater?
To what? The Scientologists?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they own those lands now.
They've always been there.
Yeah, but
Come
now
on.
they
I
own.
grew up in the
just-
Bradenton, Sarasota area, and they've always been there, because I remember, I think I was about 9. My brother was 8. And we had just come from church over across the street at the First Christian Church, and Mom wanted to stop by the Scientology and check them out. And it was just weird.
I bet.
It was weird. We were sitting in this lobby, and people kept trying to talk to us about things we didn't understand.
I mean, I bet they got so good at practicing on the public when it came to like getting people in. Like you probably
don't
can only
know.
introduce so many things at once. And now all of Scientology, like, introduced to the public, is more of a self-help book. Like, if you actually run into a Scientologist, what they try to do is they talk about giving you tools to make your life better. They
Yeah.
don't talk about, they're not going to tell you about Xenu and
Right. Well,
You
they
know what I
weren't
mean? They're
telling
not-
us that as kid, but they were asking
Yeah.
questions that we had no idea what the basis was. My brother wasn't even paying attention. They gave us lollipops, but we left and never went back. So I don't know why Mom stopped in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been wanting to go back to the Sea Org in Chicago. I haven't been out there in a long time. They caught some guy recording. So I came across this guy. I don't know how. I hate when YouTube does this to me, or Google, or whoever's doing it. But basically, they put this guy in front of me that's from Illinois that just went, and he's had Scientology following him around for the last 6 months.
Oh,
And he
God.
got caught with Meta glasses inside of there.
Mhm.
And he's done 2 audits there. And I really like this guy. The more I'm like looking into this guy, he's absolutely hilarious. And he's basically just like trolling them. And for some
What's
reason,
his
they keep
name?
calling him. He gave them a fake name, a fake address, a fake P.O. box. They have a fake phone number for him. They think his name's Tyrone. But he's a young white guy, maybe 25 years old, 26
A
years old.
young white guy named Tyrone.
Yes. This is the funniest shit. Oh my God. and they started finding his clips and stuff on Instagram or something. And I just found him on YouTube. But yeah, I'll share his stuff with you.
Yeah, send me a link. That sounds funny. Yeah, I
Breaking
got kicked out of back in the day when before we had Facebook, we had Dalnet and Undernet. And I went into this room. Sometimes Cool Breeze would be dead on Dalnet. So I'd go over to, and just start cruising all the rooms. And I went in this one called Born Again. And we were chatting for about a good 5 minutes. And then one of the head operators asked me, "Have you been born again?" I said, "Why? Didn't I get it right the first time?" I never got booted out of a room faster.
That's good. I like that.
I thought I did it right the first time. Oh,
Am I breaking what streak, Gonzo? What's your question? Is it about going to the ice facility tomorrow? Because I haven't been going because of all the snow. I was plowing last Saturday, and
oh, I missed it.
What's that? I didn't do a plowing stream.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't stream it.
I gotta find my website with all the winter jokes now.
I was thinking about you and Terry. I almost was going to stream it, but I ended up not doing a lot of Bobcat work. So I was doing local stuff. But yeah, I was wore out. I was absolutely wore out over the weekend. We got over a foot of snow. Yeah, we got over a foot of snow, and we're trying to get rid of it all. And I'm like, yeah, no, 16 inches of snow, I'm good. I'm gonna take a few days off. It's
planting season down here. I got everything planted last month. Now I have to go weed all 5 gardens.
Planting season?
Yeah.
You lucky duck.
Well, if I plant in the summer, the grasshoppers eat everything. So I plant in September, October. At the end of summer, the heat down here kills it. And they grow through the winter.
But yeah, I wasn't there last week, Gonzo. I was dealing with snow. But I was talking to Boss Man about this, and I've talked to the guy that that I'm contracted with to work for. So what we might be setting up doing, which I think this will be fucking hilarious. I want to get the guy that I'm working for who contracts all of the Bobcats that I use. I want him to drop one over on Bleecher Street and offer for me to do the snow removal over in front of the ice facility. Because I think it would be fucking hilarious if I was over there plowing snow and doing all of that on the other side of the gates. And then if anybody that has been there the last few months saw me on the other side, I think that would be phenomenal for me.
That would be funny.
Having them throw tomatoes and shit at my at the Bobcat.
You need to hang a funny sign from your Bobcat, something neutral but funny.
It has to do something with snow and ice. It has to be something funny. Snow and ice removal or something.
This is where we need Terry. Where's Terry when you need him? He comes up with these really good slogans.
Yeah, but it's going to have Charlie Sheen in it.
He can do it? We're talking about Terry here.
No, I know. I expected it to have Charlie Sheen in it if Terry did it. It's Beach Street. Yeah. Basically the one that dead ends, that they block off. I want to be over there plowing, and I'm having my guy talk to whoever he has to talk to in the city over there to see if they have somebody over there. Cause I don't think they have a service over there. I think they have other people doing it. And I would volunteer my time for free if I can get my guy to volunteer his machine that we're already renting anyway. I think it would be hilarious. That would be my favorite. That would be my favorite live stream if I.
That was fun the last time.
Which one?
I had a good time.
Oh, the snow plowing one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget how long we were on there. We were on there for hours, and I had nothing to do.
Nana's gonna be giving you the work order. That's funny. Gosh, I can't figure out that Nana lady. She's interesting, but she sends a lot of people to my chat.
Good.
But I think she's very left-leaning because she hates all of the other people that I talk to there.
Oh, no.
The only time I saw her get along with anybody was when they were playing Cotton Eye Joe, and her and the Ice Girl were like linked in arms and like dancing to Cotton Eye Joe together. It was probably the funniest thing. That was the day I decided, and I haven't released these videos yet, but everybody was playing music so much and dancing around that I decided to make music videos of everybody dancing around to that Donald Trump pogo
Yeah,
video.
they turned it into a festival.
Yeah. And so now I have all of them dancing to Donald Trump music. And I haven't released these yet because I thought everybody was going to get super mad at me. I kind of expected it, but it wasn't AI. They were dancing to different music, though.
Oh, Lord.
Nana is down for her shit. Yeah, Nana's wild.
I don't go to those
What's that?
protests.
Protests? Why not?
Yeah. I'm not interested.
Would
I
you
think-
have in the 60s?
No,
Like,
I was
there was
too
a-
young. Like I said, I was only 13 in 1969. I
No,
saw
I'm
it
saying
all
like
happen.
with the knowledge of today, like do you think if there was enough of a cause, could it get you out to a protest? Like if you felt like it was just
No, because some of us have good memories, and my experience was all the incidences that seemed to be happening back to back. It was almost like an overload for some people. I just took it all in. You had Kennedy, you had Kent State, you had Martin Luther King, you had Haile Selassie, you had all these assassinations, all the way up to John Lennon. It was always something. So you see these things happening, and if you're the type of person that questions things, you start to question, why is this happening? Who's doing all this? Because you begin to see the pattern. And then they tried it again. They tried to extend it into the 70s, and it didn't work. We had a time between the 70s and the 80s where the world felt peaceful and everything was getting back to normal. And then you had, we moved to the Virgin Islands, and when we came back, then there was the Gulf War, and all this stuff started again in the Middle East. And for those of us that lived through it in the 60s, we saw it happening again.
when we saw it, we saw it after soldiers came back from the war.
If you're old enough, yeah.
Well, I feel like that would have been something that I could see you standing up for if it happened today and soldiers weren't getting treated right. I just don't
Well,
know
by
if
the
protests
time
are the idea of freedom.
I was in
They're
high
just trying to
school.
give you the illusion that you're making a difference.
No,
Because
I
unless
was
you're
I was
changing
in high
laws,
school. I was in high school, and there really wasn't. I didn't have any. I couldn't relate to the kids that were my own age. I was dating a guy that was 7 years older than me. I've been the guy I'm with now. But
you're in high
no,
school dating a guy that was 7 years older than you.
yeah, that really pissed off a lot of people. I married
I
him at
bet that
6.
would.
I married him at 16.
What state was this in?
Florida.
I was gonna say you were talking about the Appalachian people.
Where do you think my family comes from? My mom got married early. My grandmother got married early. My great grandmother got married early. Everybody in my family, we didn't think twice about it. If you were sure you were in love with them, the only thing in Florida is that if you were underage, you needed consent of your parents, like an emancipation.
Yeah.
So I got that consent, but I had my first job at 12 years old. I was more responsible than most kids my age.
I'm trying to remember.
I was hanging with people older than me too. I was hanging with the hippie crowd. And then the Lebanese boys.
Trying to remember what state women aren't allowed to skydive without a parent's permission.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's still on the books today.
Yeah, I've
And
got a
I was
lot of
trying to-
stuff. What is it? In one of them, I forget what state it is. It's illegal to have sex with a canary. I mean, why would you even have to put that on the books?
Because
Without
somebody did it.
Yeah, because
Every
somebody tried.
sign you see exists for a reason. I just, you know, eat
Blows
the
your mind,
silica
doesn't it?
packet. It's just, every sign. It's like somebody did this.
We've always had a sick society. It's just being
Oh, yeah,
revealed
here
to
you
us
go.
now.
It's illegal for an unmarried woman to skydive in Florida.
You're
It's
kidding
also
me.
illegal for an unmarried woman to skydive on Sunday in Florida.
Well, there's a lot of dry places in Florida. Hollywood, you still can't buy liquor until noontime on Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
we're
weird,
12:30
outdated
in my
laws.
county.
But yeah,
I'm not
it
sure
was
that's
it,
for all of
it
yours.
ties into those weird things where you had to get permission either from your husband or from your family,
Yeah,
depending on if you were underage or if you were married.
yeah, I
Because
had to get the permission of my mom.
okay, so are you guys both religious or no?
Yeah.
No.
No, not so much.
Well, I'm
Do you?
religious. I'm also spiritual. And I
What are
also
your
believe in
thoughts?
the woo.
What are your thoughts about the sanctity of marriage and the idea of um it being, I don't know, like a union of two people? Because I think that has kind of gone to the wayside with because I don't think women were property. I don't think they were property in that sense. I think the religious sense is what gives us the marital bindings that we have, where it's like these people are working together in a marriage, and it's
I
not.
think it's
This
I
is
think
the
it's also more than that. It has to do with frequency. The longer you're with a person, the more your frequencies become in tune. Have you ever taken two pitchforks and hit like one someplace and then hit the other one, and the other one will come into tune with the first one?
oh yeah, the
Okay, that's
vibrations
what
once
happens
up.
with people. That happens on a frequency level with people. And the longer you're with somebody, the more you match their frequency. That's why divorced people find it very hard to get back into the swing of things, because they're not finding that frequency anymore and their body's already attuned to it. It's the same thing with sex. Same thing with all of that. Your frequency, the longer you're with somebody, the more your two frequencies mesh. So there's a reason for that.
That's not true.
I think
Not
so.
true.
I
think it
think so.
depends. I think it can. I
Be
think
with
it can
somebody
happen,
the
but
more you
I
learn about their little peeves that just tick you off and you understand more.
Well, when a
You're running
woman
off of
starts,
that
when a
fresh
woman
yeah, I
lust
starts,
from
think
the beginning of the
so. I think you guys are both.
relationship. And then you fall into a pattern to where you're thinking, oh, yeah, this is going to be my ride or die. But then there's a little, they get comfortable and you start to see more of the true them the
well,
longer
you got
you're
to pay
together. It's
attention to
just
what
like,
goods you're
yeah,
buying.
maybe we're not
Yeah,
I think
you got to
compatible
be
with
both of you
each
careful of
guys.
other.
what goods you're buying, because girls these days, they really don't have any
Talking
values.
about these days, I'm talking about throughout
No,
time.
I think
No, I don't
I
think so.
think
I
girls
think
had
my
a higher.
husband would disagree with you there.
I think girls valued themselves differently in the past than they do today.
Yeah, they do.
That just comes with personal
No,
value.
that came with 2 generations of parents telling them, you can be anything you want to be,
Well, no,
regardless of whether you're capable.
I
Yeah,
think
if you have the
knowing. I think
fortunates of growing up in that environment, sure.
well, yeah, and knowing that sex sells in this environment,
Yeah.
and that we now have platforms where you could sell that outside of marriage or involved in
Mhm.
marriage, or it's now. I don't know
No,
when.
I don't agree with that. If you're married and you're doing OnlyFans, I'm sorry, I disagree.
Well, is
There's
it
there's
Only
agreed
got
like
to be a
upon with
limit.
the significant other?
Well, there's got to be a limit, because you don't want to humiliate your significant other. You have to have a certain amount of respect for each other. And to go out and use your body that way shows how much you disregard respect for your husband.
Well,
And
what
you
Well,
if
I think
there's
it's
an
can't
also.
agreement
I think
really
it
between the
love
really has.
two?
somebody. You can't really
What if
love
there's an
somebody.
agreement? It's not cheating. What is there's
But
agreement
I
I do
don't
between
think that
the
care.
two?
I do
I don't
think that has
care.
Yeah,
far more
don't
to do
care.
with.
I mean, it's real shit. It happens a lot in the OnlyFans community.
I
I
know.
think
Girls
that
know
has
they can
more to
produce
do
that
with.
money that they need in the income, and she's doing it for the sanctity of their marriage so they
Yeah,
can
well, he's
survive.
nothing more than her pimp.
But I think that has more to do
How
with
is he the pimp when she's
self-respect,
making
though.
the money?
He's living off it.
I think that has more to do with self-respect, though. It has
Yeah,
nothing
that
What's
to
to
too.
do with
say he's
like.
living off of it?
Well, I wouldn't do that to my husband because I think it would be quite
Yeah,
humiliating to
you
him.
wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
We live in a time of inflation from the time you come from that you're talking
Oh, I
about of
know.
the
Don't I
old
know?
school. We
Hmm.
live in a new age of technology where it's easy to make money, especially for a woman just doing a couple little videos on the internet that no one needs to even see the significant other, never know he's there in the picture, and she's making bank. Yeah, okay,
Mm.
But I
maybe
don't
there
think.
is some benefit from
Bro,
him, but a lot of
I don't
these
think.
guys that have these couples, I've interacted with some, they got their own jobs going on. They got their own careers. This is something
I
she's
would
doing
want
just
a
to bring
guy
in
that
extra
would
income.
let me do. I wouldn't want
I
a guy
see
that
no
would let me
problem
do
with
that.
it.
I wouldn't
There's
want
a
a
big.
guy that would let me do that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of
Why would you have
traditional
a
that
problem
way.
with a guy
Big
letting
difference,
you do
though.
that? That would be your
Hold on,
decision.
guys. There's a big difference between a social contract between two people in a
Yeah.
marriage and a contract with um, you and a company and making money outside of a marriage. Because
Right.
I think if you're doing something like OnlyFans or prostitution or something like that, then that's a contract that you have that's outside of marriage. That's not you break like because a big talk from like the red pill community is what does everybody bring to the table? And if women expect, oh, I want this to be, I want my husband to make this much. I want him to look like this. There's nothing wrong with husbands also having obligations, but this or not obligations. What it standards, I guess, of what they're looking for.
Oh God, I wrote a
I think everybody
diatribe on
has
that.
them. I
I
think
wrote.
everybody has their own standards, and some of them are accepted in society, and some of them aren't. But this has to do with what you were talking about with the tuning forks, and it's just like if people are getting into relationships too early and not figuring out that they don't mesh right away, then eventually, yes, they figure these things out and fall apart, like Sick was saying, or they find themselves more in tune and they're like, oh, this actually did work out. This was the person I was, meshing with.
Yeah, but
And I think it can go both ways.
their reasons for going into a relationship have changed drastically over the generations.
Says who?
Says me. They want a
Hmm.
guy who's 6'6", what is it? 6-pack abs, 6-figure income, 6 feet or
Well, that's a
more.
generalization of an opinion, but
Yeah,
sure,
but that's only
No, I would
10.
continue.
say
That's only
that's a
10% of
higher
men.
and not all women are like that, but she is right that there are standards that are expected for men that aren't expected for women. Same with beauty standards and stuff like that when it comes
Hmm.
to just what we do in Hollywood. Like what's considered a model in Hollywood when it comes to females is way different than the model in Hollywood when it comes to males. Like if you're talking about who
And
you'd
when it
see
comes
as
to
your
reality,
superhero. Well, when you
Yeah, it's
who
all
do you see as
subjective.
your male superhero compared to a female superhero? Are we talking about tits that you can buy, or are you talking about abs and drugs that you would have to take and fitness regimes that you'd have to do in order to get to the same point of what would make somebody a superhero in modern day movies?
or make them
So
look
the
like one. The whole
subjectivity of
point,
societal standards.
the whole point
Yes,
I'm trying to
yes,
make
you're
is
right,
is
Sig.
that the whole point I'm trying to make is that back in my day, you looked for a good man, looks were only second. If you got a hold of a good man, didn't matter what he looked like, if he treated you right and he brought you the moon, that was the guy.
Okay.
Because you can always improve on your looks. You can't improve on your what you are. So when you find a guy that treats you like that, go for it. You might be surprised.
And
And I
Gonzo in the chat to answer this. I think this has to do with the tuning fork idea as well. I think people will agree to like guys are the best example of. I think guys will be with anything to feel love. Guys chase love a lot more than women do. Women are a lot more selective about it than men are. Men will, and it might not be even love. It might just be sleeping with something.
I don't
Guys will
think they
sleep
know
with
what love
anything.
is these days.
Oh, there you go.
Guys will sleep with anything, and I think they will put up with things that they don't even understand in order to put themselves in that situation. So they may be cool with it or say that they're cool with it, and then when it comes to that tuning fork idea, they might not. It might not be as cool of something as they are comfortable with once they actually had to live with it and realize, hey, I don't really like having this person online talking to other men all night, and this isn't exactly what I thought it
You're
was gonna
getting there. You've crossed a threshold when you can go to the bathroom with the door open in front of him, or you can fart in bed. You've reached a threshold.
If I learned anything through this life, guy, there is a certain how do you say spectrum of the guy that will stick their tallywhacker in anything.
In anything, right?
But
There's a lot of girls that are anything.
I don't
used-
see that. I don't see that on the same wavelength with females that'll just let anything stick their tallywhacker in them.
Yes,
Um,
you're right.
I'll,
I
I'll
always use the bar.
definitely
I
meet
always
you
use the bar
there.
analogy. I always use the bar analogy. A guy could walk into a bar and raise his hand and say, "Who wants to sleep with me?" And he would get a lot less responses than the girl that walked into the bar and said, "Who wants to sleep with me?" regardless of looks.
Yes, yes,
The
that.
responses will always be different.
Yeah, but he said something important earlier that the standard of beauty is subjective. Because
is.
I have a good
Oh,
friend, he's living in Australia now, and we never really got it. He's like the Tanner version of Engelbert Humperdinck, really good looking, super good looking, super tall, super suave. I mean, we have another friend in Scotland, it's the same way. And he likes him chunky and short. I never got it. He's out of all the guys in my family, he's like the Adonis, and both his wives have not been all that good looking. I don't know why, but that's his standard of beauty. He likes him with some meat on him.
But I also
Into
think
what you
I also
into.
think
Yeah.
I
He
also
likes
see
him
that
with the meat.
nowadays. I also think that nowadays, when it comes to beauty standards, like what we're talking about, I think you're say the person is a good looking guy. I think a lot of the times people will go with somebody either like
Because of looks.
that's equivalent to them or lower than them because they don't want to feel like they have to obtain something the whole time. You know what I mean? Like say your
Yeah.
average guy is a 6, but he knows the thing he's attracted to is a 10. Is it going to be harder work to keep the 10 around, or is it going to be harder work to keep the 5 or the 6 around?
Well, maybe the 5 or 6 has that personality that he likes.
I'm not saying that that's not also possible. I'm saying one's going to be a lot more work to
Yeah.
maintain.
Some of these
than
girls are high
the other.
maintenance.
Yes, that usually comes with the territory.
Yeah. Well, all women have a certain
Well, and that
limit
same
of
with
maintenance.
same
But
with high value men. High value men might have a standard that
Mhm.
that they would want to hold to as well. And that's why it's not unheard of for a guy not to want to be with somebody with a high body count if they're considered a high value man. Then they can make those kind of claims. But if you're not a high value man or you can't bring much to the table, then I can see why you can't use that bargaining chip and you'll settle for things like, oh yeah, I don't care if she does.
well, that
OnlyFans,
kind
she's
of
pretty.
tells you
Like-
the demographic in the country is more red pillars and more Republican than it is Democrat, because now, and I hear it in my own groups, these people are wanting to start families. They're wanting to have babies. Elon Musk said, have babies. They're wanting to have babies. They want to start families because they know what's coming and they know they're going to have good jobs. So now they're having babies. This is what men want. They want to settle down.
What about? Hold on. You hold that statement. Don't say this is what men.
I think the
want.
women
Well,
are
if they're
pulling
going to
themselves
marry
out.
a woman, if they want babies and they're going to marry a woman, they're not going to marry somebody who's got a body count of 110.
Yeah, I think they're pulling it, and also like as much as biology is very important in this. It's just like, okay, if your prime years were spent getting a career or being with multiple people and never trying to have a child, and then you wait until let's say 40, when you have everything established, and then you want to start building a family, you're your biological clock has already ticked pretty far.
Hmm.
Like the
Especially
quality of
women.
offspring is going to change as well.
Yeah.
And especially for women, yes. Guys, for some reason, can just keep producing. Like, I think, what did they say? Theo Von's dad was like over 100 years old or something like that.
Oh yeah, they
And he-
produce for the rest of their life. It's only that the
it's
count
insane.
goes down.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, but for women, by the time they get close to menopause, those eggs are old, and the chance of Down syndrome goes up.
Yeah. Yep. There's a bunch of things that make it
Right.
go up. Yeah.
So back in the day, we all got married young and started having our families. This
Yeah.
is what the Red Pillars and the Patriots want to do now. So they're looking for the right women to have these families with, and a lot of these women with the body counts aren't cutting it.
Yeah, and they're basically, like I said, taking themselves off the market when it comes to being able to establish a family at a later point. If they don't want to, it's whatever. It's just people don't realize it's one of those decisions that you could make that really defines how long you're going to be the single cat
Mhm.
lady.
I worked with a girl at Talbot's for a while, and she was in her mid 30s, and we were talking. My kids had just been in with the new baby, and we're showing off the first grandchild. And I asked her, I said, "Don't you want to have kids someday?" She goes, "No, I don't want to get married." I said, "But what about kids?" She goes, "I don't want kids." I said, "What are you going to do when you're old?" She just looked at me. It's like, and now you see all these testimonies of women who are now in their 40s and their 50s, and men don't want to date them. And if they do, it's only for one thing. And they don't get it. They just don't get it. It's like, honey, you've aged out. That's why you see all the plastic surgery and all it's a mess.
I think I'm gonna wrap up here pretty soon. I hope you guys don't mind.
Nope.
I have to figure out what I'm gonna play at the end of this. Do you guys want any got any plugs or anything you want to do
Nah.
before I wrap things up, or anything else you guys want to talk about?
Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Golden Psy, PSY. She's got her show. We're going to be on there.
Okay, I will. And also, for anybody wondering, I'm going to pull up her chat so you guys can see it real quick, so you guys know what channel to go to. I'll have it on the screen here for a second.
Oh, is she in the StreamYard? I didn't see her.
It's at Golden Psy 5582 on YouTube. If you guys are looking for her handle for where to go, sub up and get notifications for when they're live. So there you go. She just started doing live. She's been doing a regular weekly one, right?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Nice. Yeah, I popped into her first one and was checking it out. But yeah,
is she on now?
Oh no, she was just in the chat earlier, and I just want to make sure so everybody could see it visually on the screen. Yeah. They can go to it if they want to. How about you, Sick? You been doing any streams lately?
Sometime this weekend. I'm stuck in limbo right now. They tried to pull a tricky run on me from Detroit down here to, like, I'm home here in Georgia now, but we missed the appointment time, so I got to wait till tomorrow night to deliver. And I guess Sunday I'm going home, maybe. I don't know.
So you be sleeping in your truck tonight?
Yeah, like every night.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to do it tonight, but like math wasn't working in my favor, so they got it rescheduled for tomorrow night. So I'm gonna be here chilling. Don't think I'm gonna try to do a stream while I'm sitting here. I'm gonna wait till I get home. So maybe Sunday, sometime after 3 p.m. Eastern, I might do a stream.
Noise. All right, good to know.
Good night, guys.
I appreciate you guys all coming on, and I'll talk to everybody again soon.
All right, bye.
Later. And we'll let's get a good outro going here. How about do Mrs. Doubtfire?
Euphigenia Doubtfire, dear. I specialize in the education and entertainment of 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 entertainment. Candy and the sun. Could you make me a woman? Showtime. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pump 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, din such a sham, it tastes good, such a sham. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Surprise! Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. A little bit of nicotine doesn't mean that they don't love you.
Should've never had a birthday dad. Should've never had a birthday dad. Should've never had a birthday dad.
I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you. When I'm in charge, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pump 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a sham, such a sham. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run.
Should've never had a birthday dad.
Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, bum 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 bum. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. A little bit of nicotine. Din doesn't mean that they don't love you. When I'm in charge. Don't fuss with me. It tastes good. Din. It tastes good. Bum 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 bum.
Should've never had a birthday dad. Should've never had a birthday dad. Should've never had a birthday dad. Birthday dad.
I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a sham, such a sham. I'm in charge. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run.
Should've never had a birthday dad. Birthday dad.
Yeah. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop.